sale of art. It's a fire sale of every little thing that opened up your heart. What you had is lost forever. What you felt has gone for good. Repeating lines won't make it better. You pay the price in blood. You pay the price in blood.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It is Sunday Trash. Give us this Sunday our Sunday Trash. Hello. Last night it was Saturday Trash. We did a bit of a late night stream. I ended at nearly midnight, basically. You know, that was pretty cool. And then I woke up and I got really mad at some bullshit dice rolls in Baldur's Gate 3, and now I'm here. Hello. We have some things to discuss with regards to Sniper Wolf, Sniper Wolf, or I mean, I really prefer the way some people prefer it as pronounce it as SS Sniper Wolf specifically, because it really makes her sound like she named her character after like a Nazi thing. No, I think it's supposed to be like sexy Sniper Wolf, I think is what it is. But it kind of just comes off as, oh, she's an SS Sniper Wolf. I don't know. Maybe she's a bit of a furry. I don't know. But it's, well, I know it's based on the Metal Gear thing, but, yeah, I don't know. I've talked about it. There is a new episode of the podcast, if you listen to Loud Equals Funny podcast with me and my boys. We talked about it for a while, but there's been new stuff since then, and I don't know. I have my own ranting to go on, you know, ranting and raving and such. Sniper Wolf. Let me bring up the picture here, because it's a good thumbnail that I made. I specifically like the part where she's in the dumpster. We'll just, yeah, we'll just, there you go. Beautiful. 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 So Sniper Wolf, is a user. This user is the content stealer. And she has been, on YouTube for a long time. There's a lot to be said about Sniper Wolf. She, has been a controversial figure for basically as long as she's been a figure on YouTube. She's supposedly a gamer, but she's not really. I mean, as far as anybody knows, it appears that she faked the gameplay videos or like had her fucking husband do them or something. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, you know, I'm sure not all of it is necessarily true, but the thing about Sniper Wolf is that she's a great person to to hate generally. I mean, no hate here. This is not a stream where we would ever hate people, but if you were ever to hate somebody, Sniper Wolf would probably be a good choice for it. There's so many things that I'm consistently surprised by when I learn about things that I learn about with regard to Sniper Wolf, like you know, the weird stuff where she has videos of like 16-year-olds twerking at her or something. But you know, there was one comment I saw earlier on, I think it was Swell Entertainment talked about her in this whole situation. There was a comment that was like, you know, something she ghosted, I forgot the way it was framed, but it was like she ghosted a 10-year-old dying of bone cancer. Like a Make-A-Wish kid who wanted to be, I don't know the context. I don't know if it's true. Maybe this is just like when people go into a Fantano review and they're like, gee, this was a real strange 20-minute diatribe about how the Louisiana Purchase was a mistake and whites need to rise up, Anthony. I don't know what that was about, but otherwise it was a good review. You know, maybe it was like that, but I don't know. For some reason, I could easily see her ghosting a 10-year-old with bone cancer. No, that is true. That happened. Okay, well, thank you for letting me know. I believe it. That's the important thing, is that it's easy enough to believe, right? Like, if you heard that about, like, Markiplier, you'd be like, no, that's bullshit. Markiplier, no way. You hear that about Sniper Wolf, and it's like, yeah, maybe it could be fake, but I buy it. You know, I buy it. And you're like, it happened. It's like, yeah, I believe you. You don't really need to even convince me. I believe you. If it was like PewDiePie, I'd be like, now hang on, we need some evidence here. I don't know, I think the entire track record of Sniper Wolf's behavior counts as evidence. But somebody does say that she ate their dog, so that's a shame. Sorry to hear that. I mean, I mean, I don't know, we might need some evidence of that, if we can provide, like, the bones or something. Like, was it like a cartoon? She ate all the meat and just left like a perfectly clean white skeleton gleaming, you know? And like two bouncing googly eyes, like that kind of thing, maybe. Gunted wolf. Yeah, did we get gunted? Was there a gunt? $10 from Brendan SRT. It's true, a mom reached out to talk with her daughter who was dying, and when she was supposed to be on the call, she was out to dinner. Absolute see you next Tuesday. Well, a mom reached out to her to talk with her daughter who was dying. She was supposed to be on the call. She was out to dinner. I mean, you can be out to dinner. Just take the fucking call. Go step away for a minute. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. Good, very nice person. Well, Sniper Wolf, the whole situation, I'm sure everybody is already aware of it. You probably heard me talk about it. You heard somebody else talk about it. Everybody's aware of it, but, you know, just to catch you up. Basically, for years has Sniper Wolf reigned as the queen of stealing content and adding nothing to transform it in any meaningful way. For years, she has dominated the cyberspace realm. But one lone man... Oh, that's starting to get embarrassing. Jax Films mainly started... He made the channel Jax Films as, like, kind of a parody of her stuff. And other stuff like it. I don't think it was explicitly... Well, you know, Jax Films. It was explicitly her, based on her, but I don't know if it was exclusively based on her. There was other people like, you know, Quebblecop is sort of the male Sniper Wolf. There's... You know, people would compare Jinx Reload to Sniper Wolf, but he's... Honestly, if you remember how bad Jinx Reload was, he's fucking way better than Sniper Wolf. I would even say XQC and Hassan and those types of people are better than fucking Sniper Wolf, because they at least have the excuse of being live. Sniper Wolf is, like, editing these fucking videos together. Well, she isn't. Her, like, her horde of goblins is doing it for her. Gamer Goblins, but she, yeah, she for years has been basically, you know, not even just TikToks, but like just reacting to people's content, and by reacting, it means like pointing out what happens, like a fucking, you know, Botox Dora the Explorer, just like, look, that's the Joker, that's him, on the bus, just like fucking, just a baby, just an adult human baby. Just screaming baby talk at the viewer. that they might all be dumber in the process. You know, people say it's like, well, it's kids watch this. Well, your kids are not going to grow up to be very fucking sterling adults. Let me fucking tell you, if your kids are watching this, this is not helping their brains. This is not her going all goo goo gaga, gushy gushy, crussy mussy at them is not really helping their brains. But anyways, she makes terrible
videos where she reacts to, you know, content, and reaction is a minimal element of it. There's questions to whether she like possibly fakes the reactions. Question, you know, people have said that's probably not the case, but I think that there's, you know, some level of trickery going on. I don't know, with regard to like her behavior in general, the way that she acts, the way that she reacts rather. Like it seems very rehearsed. She at least knows, she at least has seen the TikToks before, and when she pretends that it's like she pretends that it's like her first time watching it and she's super surprised, that kind of thing. It's really unfortunate. It brings the whole thing down. So her content is terrible. It's been terrible for a long time. And yet, for some reason, it's very, very popular. And by for some reason, I mean she's pretty and money. For some reason, it's very, very popular. YouTube loves her. They make tweets about her. And earlier this year, in June, I believe, they made a tweet that was something like, "Where does Sniper Wolf get her funny video ideas?" And the answer was her fans, which, as I've said before, you know, statistically speaking, one of your videos that you stole was probably somebody who's a fan of yours. I guess, you know, that's probably true. You've been doing it for long enough, that's probably true. And so Jack, who had made the Jack's Films channel as sort of a parody, a lighthearted parody, like a year or two ago, he made that channel. He saw this, he decided to gamer rise up and say, like, what the fuck, YouTube? This woman is literally profiting off of just stealing people's content and not adding anything to it, and just being an awful person. I mean, there's so many stories of her, like, ghosting a bone cancer kid, and just, like, the armed robbery she was in jail for, and all of the other the bullying that she's done to people, the weird videos that she has of 16-year-olds twerking on Omegle or whatever. She has done all sorts of things, and for YouTube to be all like, you know, where do you get your idea? And it's not the first time that they've been, like, all, you know, kind of acting as if she's a real content creator, acting as if she... And if you ever don't sign into YouTube and you go on to unsigned in YouTube, you will get inundated with Sniper Wolf. You will get fucking nothing but Sniper Wolf. It's garbage. I mean, well, not nothing but. You'll get Jimmy Kimmel and news clips as well, and America's Got Talent and Sniper Wolf, and that'll be your front page. I don't know, 20MX from Autistic Site, Fisco. Are we doing a Sissa Sniper Wolf Bubba Bingo? I maybe... Is that available for just general public use? Because maybe we could do that. We might do that. Mostly I just wanted to talk and rant about the thing. We have other stuff I wanted to get to, but we could do a little Sniper... actually watch some of her stuff a little bit. Somebody needs to make a Little Leah Bubba Bingo, which is less funny. Her side channel where she actually doesn't steal content. She just, like, has unfathomably boring... And that's, like, the thing is, like, if she wasn't stealing content, she's a horribly boring person, and that... The side channel is proof of it. She doesn't just, like, steal people's TikToks over there. So to her credit, that's true. But what you can say is that she's unbelievably uninteresting and just has no charisma and no reason to watch her whatsoever. She also, like, recreates life hacks, so I guess you could say that's kind of stealing content, almost. It's like halfway there. Not really, though. That channel is mostly free of the main criticism of she steals, she doesn't credit people, she takes jokes out of a TikTok so that she can say them and sound like she's funny. Like, can't her fucking Horde of Goblins just write her a joke? If she, like... Just write a joke. She doesn't have to do it, because obviously she's a woman, so she's not funny. But write a joke. Just have one of the many goblins that surrounds her write a joke. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But no, they just steal the joke from the TikTok, or from a comment in the TikTok, or the description of the TikTok. The famous example is the guy in the TikTok saying, "She hit my car with a Hadouken." And she just cut that part out and went, "Bitch hit his car with a Hadouken! Bro was on the bus? Bro has a bag!" Sorry. I'm devolving into mockery, and that's just childish, frankly. But yeah, Jack, with his humble little, a humble meme farmer such as Jack is, with his humble little side operation, Jack's Films, as a little side, a reaction, you know, to Sniper Wolf's reactions. Not, you know, not exactly, but it was a reaction as a channel, parody. He saw this tweet from YouTube, this "where does she get her ideas? She's one of our beloved creators." And again, you know, unsigned in YouTube, she's all over the place. YouTube loves this woman. And he was like, "No, this is not okay. She is just basically stealing from people and making fucking millions off of it. And so is YouTube. And they're like complicit in all of this." But yeah, she's been doing this for so long. And he was like, "No, enough is enough." And so he made the Jack's Films channel be specifically actually a reaction to her content, grading her stuff. I remember it started out with like letter grades before the Bubba Bingos. It started out with like, "We give you a default C for not crediting the creators," and usually it would go lower than a C. Yeah. It started as that. It moved on to a whole Bubba Bingo thing where he would basically, with his Twitch chat, he would look at any video. That was the great thing I liked about his. I really liked about that stuff. He had the same philosophy that I have to some extent, where he would just click on any video, or he would poll the chat and be like, "Which one do you want to do, chat?" And they would all produce gold. Like, it didn't have to be a curated experience. It didn't have to be like, "Oh, you need to watch this one video to see how bad she is." No, you could click on any of her videos, and they were all the same. Sometimes worse, sometimes not as worse, but all pretty much the same. And they were all awful, and they were all garbage. And he could just click on any of her videos and do that, and it was a great time to be had by all, except for Sniper Wolf, of course. She made a couple of little comments about it and went like, "Hey, it's there was a guy in a TikTok that kind of looked like Jack, and she was like, oh, he looks like a little," he was doing like the worm in a subway. He was like, "Oh, looks like a little snake trying to slither to steal my content." We got a triple S in there just for Sissa Sniper Wolf, but yeah, she would make a couple little comments. She was on a video with one of the goblins, I believe, one of her orbiters, one of her beta orbiters, made some video that she was in, and he said some joke about like, "Here on this channel, we make real reactions," and she was like, "What do you mean? Damn, that's crazy, isn't a real reaction?" So she made a couple of references to it. She was aware of the situation. And then the bomb dropped. And then the bomb dropped. It was in the middle of not even a Bubba Bingo stream. I believe they were playing Jackbox games. Jack was playing Jackbox with like his mods and his friends. I think maybe his wife was there. Well, I mean that she was in the house at the very least. But in the middle of the night, unannounced, uninvited, unaccounted for, Sniper Wolf, without talking to Jack, for one thing, goes on, I think it was Instagram, and was like, you know, "At Jack's Films, let's talk about this like adults." She was in front of his house, and the whole concept of "let's talk about this like adults" from her while she's like stalking his house. I mean, we'll get into it, I guess, but it's just like, on the face of it, what it was a picture of the front of his house, and it was like, you know, I believe his address was there, and it was basically a very obviously threatening thing. And it was like, let's talk about this like adults at Jacksville. Like, trying to get in contact with him on Instagram rather than reaching out privately and, like, doing that sort of thing. The idea of, like, well, what do you mean talk about it like adults? You wanted him to, like, check his Instagram? Well, no, actually, what she wanted was to order a bunch of fucking pizzas to their house, which apparently happened. She was, or supposedly, I don't know how true this is, but I think Jack's wife said something about this. There was, like, a bunch of fucking pizzas ordered, or, like, food in general ordered, basically forcing them to come outside and answer the door. She didn't want to, like, ring the bell. She didn't want to knock on the door. Like, at least that would have been something. But it's the idea of they're going to answer the door for food they didn't deliver. Like, they didn't order. Answer the door, and we'll all just be standing out there. Her and probably her sister, who we'll get to. Fucking retard. I mean, lovely person. Lovely person. Her sister, who we'll get to, and probably other people. At the very least, Sniper Wolf was out there. I have to assume that there was, like, a pussy posse of other people. Probably some of the goblins. And, you know, who's to say if they were armed or whatever. And that might be, like, an overreaction, except that the stupid idiot sister later went on to say something like, "What was the matter? What, does he not know how to fight?" Or something. Which is essentially like, good job, idiot. You've just implicated that this was, like, a threatening situation and you were not actually there to talk. Good, very good. Congratulations on being the biggest idiot in the room. But, yeah, she shows up, claims she wants to talk or whatever. And then, you know, starts playing the victim. And she does the classic playing the victim by accusing him of playing the victim. You know, the classic turnaround. There is an unfortunate situation with all of this, which is the optics of it. Let me just go ahead and, real quick, I have to go and, I have to just, let me see here. Let's get this here. And, well, this is back when, you know, this works a little better in his favor, I guess. But this is back before Jack became Lay Funny Hairline Man. Oh, it's WebP, so YouTube, so, oh, okay. It's WebP, so Streamlabs, Streamlabs can't show it. That's good, great. Hang on. Save image as, there you go. Hopefully that'll work. So Jack, does this work? There you go. So there's the unfortunate situation here, which is the optics of the thing. Which is that Jack looks considerably more funny hairline now. He's a little bit more bald. This is like an older picture, I would assume. But he's a little bit more bald. And unfortunately, everybody, Jack's Films has a penis. I'm afraid to inform you all of this, but he is a man. And furthermore, upon further inspection, I believe it's not too much of a stretch to say that Sniper Wolf may be a woman. And so the optics of the situation, therefore, are that by default, Jack is wrong and is a monster and is harassing her and stalking her. And any sort of criticism is invalid because he has a penis and has a funny hairline. And Sniper Wolf is a goddess, and all women should be protecting Sniper Wolf. How dare a woman come to Sniper Wolf's, or come to Jack's defense, when, how could you go against the squad? I thought you were a girl's girl. God damn it. Jack is a filthy penis haver, and so, by default, you know, a lot of people have looked at the situation and been like, oh, well, clearly Jack is just harassing Sniper Wolf. This is wrong. Many people have seen that and then immediately looked at any of his videos and went, oh no, okay, this is perfectly fine. Okay, actually fuck her. But some people who are too stupid to do that, namely Sniper Wolf's audience, who are too stupid to actually find content for themselves and have to rely on her to regurgitate it to them like a mother bird feeds her fucking children. The Sniper Wolf's stupid audience, and of course other stupid people, obviously, we'll just naturally look at that, the situation of man makes channel dedicated to criticizing woman. And, well, it's funny because it's actually like a situation of reverse sexism, which is, of course, just regular sexism, but it's considered reverse sexism in the same way of reverse racism, which is like, okay, well, it's just sexism, but it's reverse sexism if you consider it, because Sniper Wolf, you know, of course she's a woman, she can't have done anything wrong. By default, we must protect her from this evil man. She is a delicate flower who could not have hurt anybody, because women don't possess the capability to hurt people. You know, so there's the men who kind of view it that way, and then there's the women who I guess are like shamed into like, well, what? You're gonna go against her? She's a woman, which is a thing that's kind of been happening. Yeah, gendered situation. It's unfortunate that it has to be that way, because ultimately it just comes down to a person saying that another person is stealing other people's content and just generally not a very good fucking channel. Like, it's just criticism. That's another thing to point out, is that Jack wasn't out here, like, pointing out how she got arrested in 2013. Jack wasn't out here pointing out how all of her fucking pictures are photoshopped. Jack wasn't out here, like, coming up with all of this stuff. He was very specifically trying not to make it, like, a misogyny thing, which I think is unfortunate that he even has to go out of his way to do such a thing. I think it should just be obvious that, like, well... No, I mean, I don't know. I guess there have been people in the past who have made commentary about her that have said some things that, I don't know. I haven't watched every video ever made about her. I know that there's been a lot, and, you know, videos from like 5 years ago about her probably don't age that well, necessarily. But he specifically wanted it to be like an egalitarian thing, that it's just specifically like about the merits of her content, about what she is providing, what this user, completely gender unimportant, this user, Sniper Wolf, is providing as a YouTuber, as one of the most popular YouTubers that YouTube is propping up significantly with, you know, huge play in when you're not signed in. You know, tweets about her, all sorts of, like, every video she's ever made is probably monetized, you know, including the ones with 16-year-olds twerking. You know, YouTube definitely has favorable treatment for her, and so this whole thing was kind of about that. Yeah, it became like a gendered thing, and that's kind of what she used against him in this whole situation. She kind of... It's funny because she could have easily won that, obviously, because she is a woman, and therefore she could have just gone to YouTube and just been like, get rid of this man, he's harassing me, and they would have done it. But instead of doing that, thank God, instead of doing that, which would have been really scummy and awful, instead she did something equally scummy and awful, but thankfully, at least what she did will speedrun the end of her career, which is great. The silver lining of the situation. She instead decided to go to his house, as I said before, pretend she's there to talk, you know, at him on Instagram and everything, and it's like, as if he's gonna fucking see that. She could easily see that he's live at that moment. Matter of fact, she could go into his fucking chat room on Twitch and say, hey, you wanna talk? Like, before she showed up to his house, she could have done that. If she really wanted to. No, it was an intimidation tactic, and you would have to be an actual... I mean, you could be blind and see it. You would have to be deaf and dumb to see it. You would have to be genuinely unaware to see it. That's an intimidation tactic. You know, later tweets continued, or not tweets, but Instagram posts continued, and I think there were some tweets probably, but it was like... her and her sister with the caption, "We show up at your house, what are you gonna do?" And obviously, again, the gendered element of it plays into that kind of... There's an element of I would love it if that were me. What do you mean? Women can't do such and such thing to... Women can't... I'd love it if a woman showed up to my house uninvited. Like her. She's so pretty. She could do whatever she wanted. Like that kind of thing. Playing on that. Basically. Which, you know, certainly some people have probably bought into. Or even just playing into, like, they're both, like, dainty little women or whatever, and it's like, what could we possibly do? We're just little women. We definitely wouldn't do anything crazy or malicious, obviously, because women can't do that, you know, that kind of thing. So that was basically what she tried to do, was show up and intimidate him and dox him for 5 million subscribers on her, or followers or whatever, on her Instagram. 5 million people could see his address, and there was like a layer of abstraction about like, oh, well, you can just Google his address. It's fine. It's not like I doxed him. It was just available. And it's like, well, before you said to do that to 5 million people, it wasn't the top result. Like, apparently for some period of time, when you looked up Jack's films on Google, the immediate top autofill result was like, house location, house address. Like, for a short time after she did that, that's what her subscribers did. Apparently. You know, I've just heard that. I don't know how fully true that is, but that's certainly what I've heard. And I've, you know, Jack responded, obviously not happy about this. He was playing a game with his, you know, friends on stream. I haven't seen the clip of, like, him reacting or anything, but I know that, like, his wife made a whole impassioned tweet, and I remember Tristan read it out on the podcast, and I was just like, that's a good fucking tweet. Like, immediately I was like, that was a slam dunk tweet. Jack's wife, Erin, I think is her name. Jack has made a number of tweets as well, basically immediately being like, this isn't funny anymore. She's now, like, harassing her critics and doxing them and stuff. YouTube, you have to do something. And everybody started stepping in and saying the same thing, and it continued from there, and she kind of doubled down on it. Her idiot moron sister just continued to say all this stupid Zoomer shit on her, like, Instagram or whatever, with, like, skull emojis, and just further implicating what they were clearly there to do. I think one of the messages mentioned something about guns, and, like, how they might have been armed while they were there. There was a number of things that Sniper Wolf's fucking moron sister said that only deepened the grave. And days later, after the entire internet, save for a few choice morons, I will say, I got the privilege of seeing a couple of really great comments that, well, like, you know, there's the ones that are, like, from a bot, clearly, that are, like, because, let me just, hang on just real quick, let me just, yeah, so Sniper Wolf's, or her goblins, more accurately, have been super botting really hardcore. Like really hardcore. So you will see people showing up in comments who have had, like, one comment, and they've been around for one day. And it's just like, Sniper Wolf did nothing wrong, fuck Jack's film, he has stupid hair, or something. I saw a Twitter that was like that the other day, in regards to the YouTube tweet that eventually happened. There was one really great comment that I saw on, I think it might have been Charlie's video. It was one of the videos talking about it. There was a really great comment that was like, haha, Sniper Wolf did nothing wrong, haha, she will get away with it, seethe and cope. And everybody was like, oh, what are you, like, 12? And this user who had a Wanda Maximoff avatar, which just makes perfect sense, frankly. This user went, like, I don't know, it was this insane thing about how, like, haha, I'll get away with anything I want to because I'm also beautiful or something. This really, like, weird rant in the comments, and all of the responses were like, oh, so you are just, like, 12. This is what Sniper Wolf's fans are, I guess. Was just, like, an unhinged 12-year-old saying that, like, haha, she's pretty, so she'll get away with it. And so am I, so I'll get away with things. Like, those are the people who are logically able to support her at this point. So if you're, you know, that's about it. It's slim pickings. But she's, I would assume that was a real person, potentially, but there have been a number of bots. There have been a number of bots, allegedly. So, yeah, YouTube, eventually responded. They made a tweet, and, the tweet was something about, oh, Sniper Wolf. First of all, this was several days later, and it came out, like, really closely, beside, an apology from Sniper Wolf. A fake apology, obviously, but, you know, it's an apology tweet or whatever, probably written with ChatGPT. In fact, it was most likely written with ChatGPT, allegedly, because the reason why is because she says Jack's film, just the one, and it just reminded me of how the Gollum game, the apology from the devs, was written with ChatGPT, and it called it Lord of Ring or something, like Lord of the Ring or something, just like it botched the name. I think it dropped a plural, you know, like Jack's film. So it's possible that she just completely ChatGPT'd her apology, allegedly. But right around the time that the alleged apology came out, YouTube also, I don't know if it was just slightly before or slightly after, but YouTube had a tweet about it, and they said that she had been suspended from the monetization thing, the creator program or whatever. And this behavior is not acceptable on both sides or something, and we wish to move this to a better place. And I have to say, I've been waiting for a chance to say this, because I've seen, this was a couple days ago now, and I was going to talk about it. I've been waiting for a chance to say this, but as an enlightened centrist whose opinions are by default better than everybody else's because I'm calm and measured. That's me, obviously, calm. That's me. Everybody knows me to be calm. As an enlightened radical centrist who will radically agree with things from both sides of the aisle sometimes, and people will tell me, hey, you're an idiot. You're supposed to fully agree with one thing. One lifestyle is the only way to live, and you have to be all in on that. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm multi-classing. Fuck you. That being said, trying to both sides a situation where this bitch doxed him to 5 million people is fucking stupid. It's really fucking stupid. Speaking as an enlightened centrist, I'm gonna take the hard radical path on this one and just take a firm stance and say, yeah, it's giving stupid. It's giving dumb. They tried to do the both sides thing. Hang on. And I'm assuming that what that means is people, the hypothetical specter of a misogynist boogeyman that hypothetically exists, and if it does, I have not seen it. There is probably some Twitter egg account that's like, yeah, I love Jack's films, fuck that stupid slut, or something. There's probably something like that. But in terms of anybody who fucking matters, anybody involved in the scenario, Jack himself, or any of the commentary people like Charlie and Muda who've talked about it, nobody has been, like, bullying Sniper Wolf in any measure that she doesn't deserve. You know, being all both sides about it. No, there's one fucking side, and that's the side of not breaking the law and the YouTube terms of service. Both sides. I love the concept of the behavior on both sides. Like, well, the behavior on one side was because she broke your rules. Like, she broke your rules and people were trying to inform you guys of that. She broke your rules, and while you were sitting there not doing anything about it for like 5 days, people were talking. And that's maybe what they mean by the behavior on both sides is, how dare they say that she did these things? and force us to act. How could they? And I don't know if it's directly trying to, like, shit on Jack with that. Well, not directly. Indirectly. Very much indirectly. I don't know if it's indirectly trying to shit on Jack with that. Specifically him. Or just the people on his side. But even if it was just the people on his... If it's him, then honestly go fuck yourselves, YouTube. But if it's the people on his side... Then also kind of go fuck yourselves, YouTube, because they have every reason to be on his side. They had every reason to be on his side before she fucking doxed him. They had every reason to be on his side when all he was doing was grading her terrible content and saying that she should probably not be propped up by YouTube in the way that she is as some fucking, you know, paragon of... Lest we forget how she is when she shows up in Darman. Like, the goal for YouTube and Sniper Wolf at large, the goal in general, is to make Sniper Wolf look like a philanthropist, a great individual who just helps people. Remember Psycho Mantis? Remember how she, like, gave her a PS5 or whatever? Because even girls can be gamers. She has cultivated this whole fucking image about, like, being... a strong woman. Even girls can rise up to steal people's content and then lie and cheat and be a fucking scumbag, I guess. Great. That's cool. I kind of already knew that, but, you know. It's good that it can be proven every now and again. Yeah, Darman paints her as, like, a philanthropist, a great person. YouTube paints her as, like, a... Where does she get her funny, wacky ideas for her great videos? It's like YouTube making that tweet about, oh, where does she get her ideas? That is maybe something you could say to somebody like, I don't know, what's that guy's name? The one who looks like he's 12 and he makes a bunch of weird inventions and stuff. I forget his name. He was like living in the Pokimane house or whatever. Like, you could maybe say to that guy, or Nile Red or something, you could be like, where do they get their ideas? You know, these people that actually put a bunch of effort. Michael Reeves, yes. Oh, hey, Aiden, welcome. And Black Brains, hello. There's some hello, I haven't looked at chat in a bit, I've just been going off. Yeah, Michael Reeves, yes. He is a person you could look at as YouTube and be like, yeah, where do you get your ideas? You have all these weird machines and stuff that you build and stuff. Like, where do you get those ideas? That's something you could say. Or for comedy people, I don't know, if you want to prop up a woman, I'm sure there's somebody that you... I made the joke earlier that yada yada women can't be funny, but there's plenty of funny women on YouTube. You could just, like, fucking, I don't know, Jenny Nicholson or something, whatever. There you go, I'm simping for Jenny Nicholson again. You know, fuck it. Simp for, you know who would be better to prop up than Sniper Wolf? Lindsay Ellis. Fuck it. I don't like Lindsay Ellis's content that much, but she at least makes things and talks about things and has opinions and has, like, something. She offers things. Her content is 1,000,000% better than Sniper Wolf. If you want to be like, hey, Lindsay Ellis, where do you get your ideas? Great, fine. I mean, a little bit funny, because, haha, nostalgia chick, but, like, fine. There are women you could do that with. There are guys you could do that. There are any number of people out there that you could do that with. You know, instead of Sniper Wolf, whose entire content, even if she was like, it would be like saying that to me. Even if you were looking at somebody who's a good reaction channel, or like, I don't know, look at, like, Critical, like, where do you get your ideas from? I don't know, I look at Twitter, and whatever's happening that day, I make a video about it. Oh, people recommend me things. It's not that difficult. Where the reaction commentary genre of person is not, like, even at our best, like myself. We're not that like fucking complicated. Our ideas are not that fucking out there and off the wall. And if you want somebody who is, you could look at, I don't know, fuck, like an H-Bomber guy maybe. Again, whatever you got to say about him. He makes stuff that's got, like, some transformative stuff and so on. Like, you can maybe look at that as, like, a commentary person, but that's not even reaction. I don't know what you would look at as a reaction person that you could even say that about in a way that wouldn't be kind of dumb. Like, even if it was somebody that I liked, I would be like, like, at Some Ordinary Gamers, where do you get your ideas from? Fucking Twitter. I don't know. Where does... He just talks about, like, news and shit. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're talking about somebody that I like and support, I would look at that tweet and with a sidelong stare. But instead, it's Sniper Wolf, who is easily among the fucking top 5 worst examples possible of that type of thing. Easily one of the top examples of bad reaction content, and they single her out and go like, where do you get your ideas from? And so now we have to bring back the allegedly once again, because the allegedly is important here. As I read a couple of super chats, I'll read the rest as we go in a little bit. I'm almost done talking about Sniper. The rant is almost concluded. We'll move on to some other things. I don't think we will do any Sniper Wolf bingo. I think we're just going to talk about her and move on. I don't really have the fucking energy in me to watch Sniper Wolf's fucking content right now. I think I'm good. But there's $5 from Emilio Silva. You ever heard the theory that she sucked some higher up at YouTube, like back in 2013, and now that's why they white knight her, literally simping her? Well, I mean, that's always the theory in scenarios like this. You've got people like Alinity or whatever, people who, you know, like the Sex Woman. Remember Twitch's Sex Woman? Does anybody remember the Sex Woman? Who was on Twitch and had sex on Twitch and was live on Twitch being fucked, and they banned her for like a week, and basically everybody agreed that, oh, well, she fucked somebody at Twitch. She just fucked somebody at Twitch. Or somebody, or the infinitely sadder version of that is, oh, somebody at Twitch wants to fuck her, and they were willing to waive the rules because hypothetically someday they might. Which is, frankly, more likely, honestly. I would say that that's probably, at the very least, that is the scenario, yes. There are probably dozens of fucking people in YouTube, or with power, at YouTube. But I want to point out that, you know, it's you know, you bring up, like, oh, she sucked someone off, like, I want to point out that another individual that you could point to, that you could say the same thing about, it seems to be Quantum TV. If you remember correctly, I think they eventually did some stuff about him, but, like, they were really kind of protecting him in a way that was kind of weirdly, like, people were genuinely like, does he know? He has to know somebody at YouTube to be getting away with this at this point. There was some theories about that with Quantum TV. So I don't know that it's necessarily just like, oh, she used her quote-unquote feminine wiles. But I also don't think it's entirely unreasonable to assume that somebody at YouTube... I think probably the more likely scenario would be that there is just some fucking neck beard, mouth breather at YouTube who's like, maybe she'll have sex with me. And, you know, I say that, I mean, but technically they did act against her. They did do something. They did do the monetization suspension thing, and they didn't say how long it would be for. For all we know, it could be over by now. I assume whenever she starts posting videos again, assumedly there's I'm not going to bother checking. I would assume that since she can't make money from them, there's probably not been any videos in the last couple of days on her channel. So whenever she can make money from them again, she will probably have them pumping it. You know, she's probably got them all, like, lined up. Or rather, the goblins do. Sniper Wolf's actual contributions to her process are actually fleetingly minimal. Like, she, you know, she sits in front of the camera and says the words that I think are written for her to say, or sometimes are stolen from the TikTok, and then the rest of it is left up to the editing goblins and the, you know, whoever else she has, neckbeards that she has orbiting her that work for her. But, you know, whenever the videos come back, surely somebody on, let me see here. She posted a video yesterday. Goddamn. Alright, well, never mind then. Does that mean that it's back already? Does that mean that it's back already? Tristan says it might be less women's sex, and more like she makes a lot of money for YouTube. But the thing is, I feel like she only makes money for YouTube because they've facilitated a scenario by which she can make the money. Like, in any other situation, she would, like, nobody would be watching her shit, but because they put her front and center on YouTube, she makes the money. And I guess it's because she's super sanitized and, like, nothing in her videos will ever get copyright claimed or guidelines claimed or whatever. But she never gets demonetized. But, like, there's lots of channels, I don't know. I don't know. There's got to be some special sauce with her. And I'm willing to say it's somewhere halfway where it's not anything she's necessarily done. I think it is more likely in my opinion, I think it is, there's probably just some people at YouTube. It's a combination of the money thing at this point now where it's like, well, she is a cash cow now. But I think that she got to that point because there were some people that were like, maybe she'll sleep with me or whatever. Because that's definitely happened at Twitch. I mean, you talk all the shit you want about YouTube moderation and whatever they've done in this scenario, but Twitch, there was the situation a few years ago where Twitch, I think it was like 2020 or something. Twitch had a moderator who was apparently harassing female streamers based on, like, it was a staff member who was able to find their addresses because he was a staff member and he would, like, harass them. So, like, it's worse at Twitch, I think. I mean, as far as we know, it might be just as bad at YouTube. Who knows, really? But yeah, no, it's possible. I think that definitely they are, allegedly, rather, propping her up, for one reason or another. It remains to be said exactly why, I guess. Why that might be. But for whatever reason, they said that she was demonetized briefly, or, like, temporarily suspended. If she has videos coming out again, I would say that means that it's back. It was the slap on the wrist, the slappest of wrists as you could possibly get. It was probably just, like, a couple days, if anything. And there's 50 MX from Autistic Psycho. I see you fixed the autistic typo right there. YouTube is protecting her and her fans are too young/stupid to care. This won't end her career. That is an unfortunate scenario. That is the black pill, really. It's fun to say that this is speed running the end of her career. I think it's definitely done a huge hit to her reputation, and I think it's going to be harder for her from now on. I think she's going to have more problems as doing what she's doing. And she's going to encounter more resistance and more people like Jack. And frankly, I think that will just lead to her stupid actions, at some point down the road. Like, the more criticism she gets, she's shown that she can't handle it whatsoever, and she will go out of her way to, like, attack people that talk shit to her. Or not even talk shit. Accurately and fairly criticize the horrible content that she makes. And she'll just, like, go after them and, like, try to intimidate them and threaten them. What this has led to, at the very least, is more people will talk about her and will point out the things that she's done. And that will probably lead to her inevitably, like, doing something. She's gonna do something. She's gonna do something. Again, rather. Or it's gonna trace back to her. She's like an organized crime mob boss at this point. It's like, one of her fucking Stugats are gonna, like, get caught at a fucking pasta joint. And the shit's gonna roll uphill. That's gonna trace back to her. We can only hope. But yeah, her fans are children. Or idiots. Or simps. Anybody who would be... The paradox of a scenario like this is that, yeah, anybody who would be a fan of her... It's kind of like what I say about, like, I don't know, the heels versus babyface guy, or, like, the person who thought they could turn into a fucking dog or whatever. It's like, or rather the person who thought it was okay they could fuck dogs because they are actually a dog, in all ways except physical. It's like, you know, you could just say, like, heels versus babyface. No, I'm definitely not a transformer phobe or whatever. And then a Patricia person, definitely not a zoophile. Like, okay, here's the thing. Everybody who would possibly support you already, like, would be on your side anyway. And everybody who would not support you is gonna see right through what you're fucking doing. It's that kind of thing. Anybody who could ever be a fan of Sniper Wolf at this point would be, by default, in the demographic of people that are, yes, too stupid or young to give a shit about all of this. Maybe they would someday grow up, hypothetically, but yeah, that is the paradox, is that anybody who has a brain has a problem with Sniper Wolf now. It's just that her content is dedicated to the people that don't. And she doesn't really. And so, yeah, it's a bit of a unrelenting force, immovable object kind of scenario. I don't know. I guess that'll probably do it for the Sniper Wolf rant. YouTube is, by all accounts, protecting her. It appears that, yeah, she's back. She's probably got money on her videos again. She's already got her bag. She's got, her mansion. Yeah, I mean, like, she could maybe... There's, like, a lawsuit happening with her fucking ex-husband or whatever. She could maybe, I think somebody said earlier, I saw a message that was like, maybe she's trying to tank her channel so that she could lose less in the lawsuit. Maybe, but, like, I don't know, man. There's some, like, uncomfortable truths I think some people need to look at a little bit with the Sniper Wolf scenario of, like, how quickly people were willing to just jump on Jack. Not everybody, and not anybody with a brain, but just how the state of things is, that immediately the thought was, oh, he's a man, he's harassing Her Majesty. My queen! I must defend my queen! She can't have done anything wrong! And, yeah, it's just funny that she even, like, went... Because, again, she could have very easily just gone to YouTube in private and said, I don't like this man, he's harassing me, he's a misogynist, and I don't feel safe, blah, blah, blah. And they would have just gotten rid of him. Like, or at least... Because Jack has been on YouTube for a long time. I don't know that they would have gotten rid of him outright, but they would have punished him in a way that was more severe than what they eventually did with Sniper Wolf. They would have been like, they would have probably completely demonetized the Jax Films channel, or possibly taken down both, because it is a side channel that reflects, therefore, on his main. It's all the same AdSense account, probably. So yeah, if she had done that, she probably could have just gotten his whole fucking channel taken down if she really wanted to. This is maybe the preferable option, because it's just revealed what kind of person she is even further. I mean, everybody, but that's the thing, everybody already knew. She ghosted a 10-year-old dying of bone cancer. Everybody already knew what kind of person she was. So, yeah, the black pill of the scenario is, how much does this really change? Anybody who could have had a brain in their head and thought for 2 seconds. I mean, I guess I think back to, like, YMS, who started, he did a Bubba Bingo stream or two. Not full stream, but, like, a clip on the highlights channel. There was a couple of clips, and I think the first time he talked about the situation, he was like, he was also one of the people who apparently initially saw it and was like, oh, Jack's probably a little out of line here. And whether that's down to, like, man attack woman, or just because it is, like, yeah, you look at it, he has a full channel dedicated to one individual. By most metrics, that would be kind of a bad thing. That would be something that you look at and be like, you're a little obsessed or whatever. But no, it's an obsession that I think was always in the right place, because again, it's like people being obsessed with, like, I mean, it's punching up, absolutely, for one thing. It's not like he's going after some helpless individual, some helpless creator. She's like one of the top people on the site. So it's like, there's that element, but also just, yeah, I don't know. She's a public figure in that regard. I don't know. It's perfectly acceptable at the level that she's at for him to have that channel. But yeah, the very optics of it look kind of weird in a way. And for YMS to have initially been like, yeah, maybe he is out of line. Maybe he should step back from this. And then very quickly realize, like, no, she is guilty of all the things he says she's guilty of. It gives some hope that there are some people who maybe have been further convinced. And I don't know, her chances of working with like a Darman in the future, I don't know, but then Darman is also full of shit. I guess the ultimate black pill is there is just a large population of utter fucking morons. Just complete bottom feeder fucking sponge intellect human beings out there who will eat up her shit and will eat up the fake apology that she made that was super fake, by the way, allegedly. Super fucking fake apology. Super fake. Super fake. And one of the great things about it, too, was the apology was, like, part of it was, like, I thank YouTube for helping me to see reason or something. And this came out, like, very shortly after or before the YouTube response did, which was like, we have, you know, temporarily suspended her, yada yada. So it was just a complete fucking fabrication. Absolute fabrication. We made it up. Completely bogus. She claims to have apologized, and enough idiots that, you know, the idiots that need to will hear that and go, okay, she apologized. Smiley face, she apologized, smiley face. The same idiots will be pacified by the YouTube response. The same idiots will look at the YouTube response and go, well, they did something, they temporarily suspended her. And, you know, the sad fact is she exists solely on the here but for the grace of those people. So I guess as long as those people exist, you know, there's the black pill. She will probably also exist. So I'm going to read some super chats here, and we're going to move along from Sniper Wolf. I think we're more or less done. That's the ranting. $2 from Elizabeth Rogers. No message, but thank you. $2 from Aurelius. On today's episode of Dork Costanza. There's a way that you could make that work, because it does sound like George. I like that. $5 from Brendan SRT. No message, but thank you. $5 from Get That Griff. It's a good day when Claw does trash. I suggest God's Gang from last night, or the DeviantArt user Sumo Hippo. He made some interesting Dead 6 art. Well, I looked at that. Unless there's new art. I did see the interesting Dead 6 art. It wasn't that interesting. It was just him, it was Rosalina being like voring people or something, and Dead 6 was like looking on in horror. It was just kind of like a meme image. Unless there's new stuff. I don't know. I did save God's Gang. I'm probably gonna look at the Family International puppet movie, the 2-hour first part of the child abuse sex cult Family International's puppet movie that they made, called, what is it called again? It's called Life with Grandpa. So we'll probably look. I'm in terms of God things, I'm sooner to look at that, but God's Gang is on the list. $10 from Brendan.srt. It's true. A mom walked out to, yeah, I read this one. Ghosting a 10-year-old dying of bone cancer. I mean, that is one of the more reprehensible things I've heard from her. Like, there's a lot of things. I remember there was a Nerd City video about her years ago that kind of went into, like, she had her, you know, all of her photos are photoshopped, and she, like, bullies people, and, specifically, like, that kind of catty girl bullying thing where she'll be like, you don't pull off those shoes well, and that, you know, that kind of thing. Fucking high school girl bullshit. As like a grown adult 30-year-old woman or whatever. She's probably like in her 30s, but she's probably one of those who's like, nah, I'm 25. She's probably one of those. I have no idea how old she actually is, but yeah, I don't know. I've heard that, yeah, she like bullies people. She, you know, apparently got arrested for like armed robbery in 2013, which is proof that she is a violent person, or at least has that track record. She has that in her brain somewhere. People can change, but this recent stuff just kind of makes you wonder how much they change. You know, she got arrested 10 years ago. Is it just that she's been too, like, YouTube famous since then to be, you know, fucking robbing places? I don't know, but, yeah, no, but probably one of the worst things I've heard is this thing about the 10-year-old with the bone cancer. That's really fucked. That's real fucked. That's real fucked. Fuck you hardcore, Sniper Wolf. And also, of course, the videos on her channel of her, like, I think she even, like, asks a 16-year-old to flash her at one point, if I remember. It was one of the critical videos talked about it. I didn't see the video, but he said something like, I don't know, like, she knew that that the person she was talking to on Omegle was, like, 16 or 15 or whatever, and then she proceeded to be okay with, like, sexual stuff happening, and then put that in the video. And I think the video is still up. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things you can say about Sniper Wolf, but I do think I've never felt more strongly a strong dislike for her than when I saw the comment on, I believe it was the Swell Entertainment video from, I think today or yesterday or something, that said, like, yeah, she ghosted a 10-year-old dying of bone cancer. I'm just like, wow, that's just, there is just not an excuse for that, really. I mean, shit. Shit. $2 from Oofies with 2 eyes. Gunted Wolf. Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I don't know how gunted she'll be. Gen X fandom mom. My 8-year-old niece was watching her, so I showed her Jack Films playing bingo instead. Well, that's good. You're doing God's work. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a shame, yeah, because kids will just watch it. We say that, like, yeah, it's stupid people, but that stupid people just also includes children, mainly includes children. That's her main demographic. And it's sad that, like, the children, I guess, are the ones who are... They're just getting propagandized, too, ultimately. Like, that's ultimately the victim here. You know, Jack got his house doxxed and everything. At the end of the day, the real fucking victim of Sniper Wolf is all of the children that are unknowingly watching her shit and being made dumber. And also probably just totally on board for all of the bullshit, like, lies that she'll spin about this. And not aware of what kind of person she is. Just, like, the children that are eventually going to learn about their idol, Sniper Wolf. And what she's done. And how that's gonna feel for them. You know? And how YouTube and Darman and her and all these people could just, like, could do at least something to not have that happen by not propping her up, you know, by not artificially, like, I don't know. I don't know. There's just some element of it where it's like, you all know who ultimately the people that are buying whatever you're selling here are children. Like, oh, well, she did something bad. Like, I can already see the, like, 10-year-old that would write a comment and it would be like, well, Sniper Wolf did something bad, but she said sorry, and YouTube punished her, and everything is good now. The end! Like, that kind of thing. You can totally see it. That'll happen. If it's not already happening. That is super, super believable. And it's just sad that, like, people that, I mean, obviously she wouldn't, you know, have any interest. She's fucking heartless! But, you know, YouTube and anybody else that is in her vicinity, any of her goblins, anybody who has the ability to tell her to, I don't know, to fucking stop. I don't know. It's just a shame. It's a conspiracy that essentially just the end result of it is a generation of children that are watching her garbage unknowingly, just not knowing any fucking better. It's unfortunate. $2 from Oofies with 2 eyes. Stupid Sniper Wolf. Prepare for stupid. Make it lucid. That's the stream. Brendan SRT became a member. Thanks for the membership. Welcome to the channel. You can use a bunch of cool emotes, and there will be more soon. Thank you. 20 MX from Autistic Fikesco. Are we doing a Sniper Wolf bingo? No, not today. Maybe at some point. I do like this, because I don't know if Jack's going to continue doing them. You know, now it might not be something he wants to do anymore, which is fair. I would like to keep that alive, though. The Sniper Wolf bingo it's too funny to let it just die out. Whether or not he wants to do it, I would like to at some point maybe do Sniper Wolf bingo again. $5 from I read that one. 533 from XL Postman. Sniper Wolf can't make money for YouTube anymore. So that's where the stupid both sides are bad part came from. Well, that's not true. She's putting out videos again. I highly, highly doubt that she would be putting out videos for any other reason than she's able to make money from them again. You know? Like, I don't know. The fact that, I mean, you know, you try to look at this in an angle that's like, well, it's just two people, yada yada, there's no sex. Don't worry about the sex of the people, don't worry about the gender, whatever. But there is just this inherent sexism of the whole thing that's kind of frustrating, because you remember, like, J-Station getting banned, and all of these other fucking people that have been banned and have had to, like, I'm thinking of, like, I think it was Keemstar, who I don't think he did the same thing or anything like it, but he got banned, he got his AdSense banned or whatever, and he did the classic, like, switch over to a different channel with a new AdSense run by a different person, where I'm just like an employee of it. Like, things like that have happened. Sargon had that happen to him, but not Sniper Wolf. And she's clearly done worse things than certain people who have had much more significant punishments. I don't know. Remember that fucking... I have no allegiance to this guy. I've never watched him, and he is making an NFT game, so he's probably a fucking moron. But... remember that Dr. Disrespect got banned from Twitch for, like, basically reasons that nobody knows still. I don't think it's ever come out fully why Dr. Disrespect was banned, fully, outright, permanently banned from Twitch. But the sex woman that had sex live on Twitch was fine, and Sniper Wolf on YouTube, that's fine. Like, I don't know, there's just an element of it where it's like, it's a little bit hard to ignore, like... yeah, there's a common denominator here with some of these people, like Sniper Wolf, like Alinity, like these people that break the rules and the fucking rules don't apply to them because of, I don't know, certain reasons, maybe two very specific reasons. I don't know. $2 from Michael Morbius. I'll simp for Altiori. I don't know who that is, but I saw your other one from a minute ago saying that she's a good content creator. I don't know who that is. But, you know, there's people you could simp for. I mean, I don't know what simp for, but there's people you could be fans of, be a viewer of, and be proud of watching them, or whatever. Sniper Wolf is fucking not one of them. $5 from Oofies with 2 eyes. People who unironically think she's hot have never touched Breets in their life. She's literally the fakest regard on YouTube. Well, it's not even just the breets. It's the lips. It's the whole Botox thing. I mean, you know, whatever. She looks the way she looks. It's fine. I'm not trying to shame her appearance, but rather the people that, I mean, she does have this, she has cultivated this, like, look at me, ooh, I'm so cute and sexy. That's her name, SS Sniper Wolf. Sexy Sniper Wolf is what that stands for. I don't know. I just don't know. She just looks like she belongs on Jersey Shore. I can't. Like, the whole body is fake, and it, you know, the personality underneath matches. So I guess you can at least say that, you know. $5 from a lady class. Did you hear about how she was inappropriate with minors on Omegle? Oh yeah, I was talking about it. Very strange stuff. I think those videos are still on YouTube. $10 from Aiden Paladin. YouTube removed a video I made about a really stupid published academic paper because of one of the authors got salty. They won't even respond to me anymore. Meanwhile, both sides are bad here. Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, this is a scenario where, like, I don't know, you and me, if we tried to get in touch with YouTube, you know, the average viewer would look at, like, I think, Aiden, you're like over 100K now, I'm pretty sure. I'm, you know, close to 200K, and it's like, you look at that and be like, okay, that's, you know, you've got a following. YouTube would probably listen to you if you reached out or whatever. No, Jack, this whole thing only really reached the level that it did because Jack's a very popular creator in his own right. Unrelated to anything to do with Sniper Wolf, Jack's a very popular creator, and has millions of subs already. If this happened to somebody like me or anybody else, you would really just have to... YouTube would not care. They wouldn't get in... They would not respond, probably. Especially if it was Sniper Wolf that did this. The only reason they did was that they had to, because Jack was a big enough creator. If this happened to, like, the same guy that, the underage commentary guy, I think his name's Mischief, that, Quantum TV went after... if it was like that scenario again, like that guy only had like, I don't know, 10,000 subs or something, you know, YouTube would not have responded. YouTube wouldn't have given a shit. The only reason they care at all is because Jack is such a big channel. And, yeah, you know, also the optics of it, everybody talking about it. If it's something that they can sweep under the rug, they will. They have no reason necessarily to reinstate your... I was so surprised the one time... God, what an unfortunate video. The video that I think my second ever video of the internet absurdity, like the type of stuff that I'm doing now. Yeah, I had a few videos before that, but my second, like, big edited video was the urine therapy one, which was a great video. I love that video. It's still one of my favorites. It's no longer on YouTube, though, because first, it got age restricted, and I got, like, a strike for it. Because I guess piss therapy is bad. And then I made a response to YouTube and I was like, hey, this is a video talking about how bad of a thing this is, trying to warn people about this practice, trying to spread the word that this is a bad thing. There's some jokes made, but like whatever bad thing, whatever ad unfriendly thing is like on here is only there because you know, it's even one of the ads, the things when you are selecting your monetization settings or whatever, you select if the video fits, like, oh, is there this much sex stuff, this much violent stuff, whatever. One of them is like content that mentions controversial issues in a fleeting sense and to discuss how to prevent such issues or something like that. There's some wording like that. Is actually a thing that you can select. And that was basically what I said, was like, this is like a pseudoscience woo thing that is like fooling people into like drinking piss when they have, you know, a horrible, like, life-threatening condition. This video should stay up. And YouTube relented the strike. I lost the guideline strike, but they gave me an age restriction. And then like 3 months later or something, one of the fucking piss drinkers copyright struck the video anyway. And so yeah, the whole fucking the whole situation. And I reached out to him and to YouTube and I was like, this is bullshit. This is clearly fair use. This fucking guy who I looked at for like maybe 2 minutes in a video that I think was like just under a half hour, at most 2 minutes, maybe like a minute even, is gonna claim that he owns my whole video. Is that right? You know, YouTube didn't care, didn't get in touch with me, didn't, you know, whatever. So yeah, no, the only reason, like, it's like a meme at this point. You know, you try to get in touch, Aiden, you say, like, you tried to get in touch with YouTube for this situation. Yeah, it's like a meme at this point. Maybe you should just go on Twitter and just go like, hey, at Team YouTube, hey, fucking do something, please. Because that's like the only thing that ever gets them to do anything. I was so surprised when they actually went back on the strike that they gave me for the urine therapy video. Because I'm like, wow, they actually listened when I reasonably explained that this video, like, when I said my piece, like, maybe it was just random luck and the fucking bot just listened to me, because it's probably not even a person. But whatever it is, I made a post that was like, genuinely thank you to YouTube for, you know, seeing this the right way. I was so fucking surprised. Because it seems like frequently the only way to get any kind of fucking answer out of these people, or anything, even approaching any kind of response, like any real sort of reaction from them, any real sort of punishment or anything like that for somebody that's like abusing the copyright system or something like that. It will only happen if you make a stink about it on YouTube or on Twitter. Maybe also on YouTube, Maybe you should make a YouTube video shitting on YouTube for what they're not doing for you. Maybe that'll do something. But I know the meme, I think Muda once said that YouTube has like a humiliation fetish. Because like the only way that you can get them to fucking like fix your broken monetization on your channel, or the number of people that I've seen who've just had their channels completely outright demonetized forever, like for no reason. And it could be just like for an accident, or like I remember there's a guy I used to watch. I don't know if he still makes stuff. I haven't watched him in a while. His channel was called Combat Wombat. I remember he got in trouble for basically nothing. And he had his whole channel outright demonetized, no chance of parole. And like they'll do that to you. They certainly didn't do that to Sniper Wolf though, for some reason. Because they're complicit. Because YouTube is outright just complicit. They are aware, oh, if we did something about this, she would stop making us so much money. Damn. Guess we can't. Guess our hands are pretty tied there. And, yeah, they're just fully aware that they should do something. They choose not to. And yeah, the only way that you ever get any kind of reaction, the only way... Like, it's so sad. It's so demoralizing for somebody that's like... I mean, even my size, or even smaller than me, like somebody that's just starting out on YouTube. Like, I'm, nearly 200K, but even me, I have no faith that if I go on Twitter and make a stink about it, that anybody's even gonna listen. The only hope that you really have, like, even then, I say, like, say something about it on Twitter, they probably won't even listen to you. The only hope you really have is to be a complete cunt about it. And at, like, Charlie and all of these big, like, PewDiePie. And just fucking Hail Mary hope that one of them sees it and recognizes that this is bullshit and maybe stands up for you. Like, somebody who's got 1 million subs basically needs to be your advocate if you're ever fucked with on YouTube. You need to just have a friend who has 1 million subs, or be able to quickly tag them and hope that they hear you. And hope that they're feeling like responding that day and being like, hey, at Team YouTube, you want to help this person, and maybe then something will happen. But if you got like 100K, or like even fucking 500K, they probably won't listen to you. Probably around 1 million is where you're guaranteed to, like, if you say, hey, YouTube, what's this? Why did my video get taken down? They'll be like, sorry about that. We'll work with you to deal. Your partner rep will talk to you. Like, how many fucking people that have, like, fully monetized channels? I've been on this site making fucking YouTube content for, like, 4 years. I have never, ever spoken to a YouTube rep or whatever. Aren't we supposed to have that? Aren't we supposed to have some guy at YouTube that we look to and we're like, hey, Jerry, what's going on with the thing? I thought that we talked about this. Aren't you gonna look into the... No, I don't. I think most people don't. I think if you have, like, 1 billion subscribers, you get one, maybe. I don't know. It's just really easy to be cynical. I remember like a few years ago when Charlie made that video where he was like, I talked to Susan. And he had a phone call with Susan. He talked to the CEO. He talked to, like, other people at YouTube. And there was some idea that, like, they're hearing people and what they have to say. They're listening. And, like, I don't know. For one thing, it's like, well, it's great that Charlie had, like, 10 million subscribers that she would bother to listen to him or talk to him or anything like that. It's great for him. But it's not even that great for him, because everything that they fucking said to him was just a bunch of bullshit platitudes to do exactly what they did here and just have a bunch of people go, well, they responded, case closed, nothing to see here, everybody go home, YouTube, they made their decision, everybody can just, they pack it up, it's all good it's all done. Like, no, they made the wrong decision. They are the bad deciders, the bad users. I don't know. The rant continues. The cerebral search endures. 682 from Exiled Postman. I hope if anything comes out of this, it's about 100,000 new channels all dedicated to clowning on this user. I don't know if it'll be like that. I mean, channels that will already exist will definitely make videos about her. I mean, yeah, the word is out in a way that it's like... And the thing is, it's compounding, because... You know, it's that cancel culture beat. When it actually hits, it hits. When it's not just somebody being canceled for, like, a single joke that they made in 2013. When it's, like, a repeated pattern of behavior over the course of, like, at least a decade, you can look to it and go, oh, yeah, you know, all this other stuff is also still relevant. And just be like, yes, she did this now, but you can also point to the armed robbery and all of the bone cancer kid and all this other shit. And just be like, wow, yeah, actually fuck her a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. $5 from Milady Class. Also, how was Leafy... Also was how Leafy was like with Pokimane worse than this. I feel like it might have been, but I don't know much about that situation and never did. Oh, it was. Leafy was... I mean, Pokimane is not a great streamer. She's... another example of a person who, if she didn't look the way she does or have the genitals that she does, then she would not have the viewers that she does or the support from Twitch that she does. That's just a simple fact. But that being said, she's not like a horrible, horrible monster. She's not a complete monster, and from what I remember seeing of the Leafy videos about her, it was very much just... Yeah, him like it was what Sniper Wolf is trying to paint the Jax film situation as being, basically. It was that. I don't know. I don't think it wasn't like exactly that bad. Ultimately, it was jokes and commentary, but there was certainly a level of it that was like, all right, this is unpleasant. You just clearly are like, for one thing, with Leafy, it was like you're just trying to get attention. You want to be relevant again, you know, there was that. It was a whole thing. Jack is more relevant now, I guess, but he has attention. He's already somebody who has a very successful YouTube channel. Multiple, in fact. And he doesn't really need any of this. He didn't need any of this in his life, necessarily, but he certainly has it in his life now. And, I don't know. He wasn't doing this for attention. He was doing this for hopefully getting YouTube's attention, maybe, you know. See, $5 from Zen. The only person who I ever knew who liked this channel was a chick who stole a pipe from me. Denied it even though her sister filmed it on Snapchat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of the... I believe that so hard. That sounds so... That is so easy to believe. That sounds like, are you sure it wasn't just her? Like, cause $2 from Milady Class, I heard her sister was as bad as her also. Yes! If you weren't here earlier, her sister is basically the reason why we know how bad it actually was. Like, the implication was she showed up to his house and probably it was, like, threatening. But... the sister went on, like, Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and she said something about guns, implying that they may have been armed, but also said something like, what's the matter? He doesn't know how to fight? Skull emoji? Or something. Like some real Zoomer shit. And yeah. No, the sister is just as bad, but significantly dumber, which is saying something. No, I mean, yeah, are you sure that the person who stole your pipe wasn't just, like, Sniper Wolf's sister? Because, I don't know, because you say her sister filmed it on... I don't know. But I very much believe that. That's the caliber of person that's going to, you know, be supporting her. That's the caliber of gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss type of individual, you know. As much as I enjoyed the Barbie movie, I will say, there was that entire segment of the movie. Maybe I misread it. There's that entire segment of the movie that was essentially the Barbie dolls all going, so what we're gonna do is emotionally manipulate the men and use their insecurities and deepest fears against them. And I'm just like, yeah, that sounds like a sniper wolf. That sounds like the type of people that do that. That sounds like some sniper wolf content right there. I could easily believe it. Easily. Easily. $2 from Michael Morbius. Side note, I was kidding, but she is a good CC. Yeah, I don't know who exactly you meant, but yeah, there's people that you can just definitely get better options to. I mean, even Pokemon's a better simp target than Sniper Wolf. She's like one of the worst. I mean, she's one of the worst. Even just for how she looks. Come on, you can do a lot better. Come on. $2 from. Or $5 from a lady class. Will you ever look into Yandere Dev and the current situation going on with him, or any and all the situations with him in general? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. The grooming stuff has been talked about by other people. I like the one message that's like, "This is emotional abuse. You are abusing me right now," and the person's just like, "I'm 15. You're 35," or something. I think she was like 17. I don't know, but I haven't looked too much into it. I know it's pretty bad for him. I don't know. It was just kind of one of those things. It was kind of one of those things where I heard about it and I'm like, wait, didn't we already know that he was a pedophile? like 3 years ago or something? Didn't he have like upskirt shots for like 12-year-olds in his game that's never coming out? Which, I mean, that's the part that I think interests me the most, is just what an unbelievably bad game developer he actually is. Like, and the excuses that he uses, like, oh, well, I'm just one man. Like, bitch, fucking Disco Elysium, like, that's not one man, but that was like one man's brainchild with, help from other people. Like, there's a lot of games that are just one man or a small team or whatever. Like, you can't use that. Like, fucking Undertale was like 2 people that made it or something. You can't just say that and just be like, no, like, I don't know, man. What have you actually been doing for the past almost decade? Like, it's almost been a decade. Fucking, I think maybe it has been. I think it was 2014. It might have been 2013 he started. I don't remember, but it's been like at least around a decade that he's been claiming that this fucking game's gonna come out. And like, man, nobody even gives a shit anymore. There's other games like it that surpass what it has ever tried to do. Like, there's no need in the world for it anymore, but, 'cause I have absolutely no value for you on the streets! Let's see, $5 from Joe Vinny the Hyena. Well, it's not sorry if they keep doing that bad thing. Well, yeah, no, this is definitely, I mean, again, that's the fake apology part of it, yeah. Aurelius with $2. God, quoting Dead Six will never cease to be funny. Well, she's fucking heartless. I mean, the 10-year-old with the bone cancer, the first thing that came to my mind was the word heartless, and I couldn't help but say it in the Dead Six voice, because that's the meme, but yeah. Funky Blood, a 6996 with 10 PLN. Apparently it's her birthday today too, lol. Oh, excellent. Well, happy birthday, trashy Sniper Wolf. I hope you're getting good presents today. $5 from the Almighty Loli, unrelated to any of the Sniper Wolf stuff, but Spider-Man 2 is fun. Disregard women and embrace 19 inches of venom, boys. I'm not to the Venom part yet. I did buy it the other day. I've been playing it. Very Miles heavy so far. I just finally, like, I played the first hour or two, right up to the part where it's Miles like, hey, anything I can do, and Peter's like, I need help at the raft or whatever, and that whole segment starts. I played the first like hour or two, and then like last night after the stream, I played from there a little bit more, and the entire chunk that I played was all Miles stuff, except for like the little bit that you play as Peter in that set piece. It was very, very Miles heavy. One thing I will say, I like Miles a lot, but one thing I will say, this is maybe controversial. Hang on, let me just hang on. Let's get rid of the jack and the we can get rid of all this. Let me bring out my Sunday best here. So the deaf girl character, She was in Miles Morales, the standalone Miles Morales game. And she, Haley is her name. She was fine in that game. I had no problem with her. She was fine. It is just extremely distracting every time she shows up. And they have to have, like, a character in the background doing, like, ASL, like, hand sign language stuff. And they have, like, Miles and Genki, like, talking to her in sign language. And the ultimate eye roll for me was just when she calls him and it's like a text-to-speech fucking phone call, and I'm like, okay, we get it, his friend is deaf, people who are deaf are alive, thank you, I'm sorry, but as a disabled person, I'm just like, if they had a friend of Miles who had a hook hand, and every scene was like, whoa, hey, are you okay, buddy? Do you need help with your hook hand? Like, every scene was them accommodating around him, it would be just so incredibly patronizing. I don't know. It's very distracting. Every time she shows up, it's like, oh god. I don't want to say it because, you know, she's a fine character, but like the way that she's integrated, I feel it's just very, it feels very, I don't know, forced in a way. It's very current day. There's your heels versus babyface moment. Other than that, though, yeah, good game. Coming from playing Baldur's Gate 3 to that, though, I don't know, man. Spider-Man 2 is pretty good, but there is one game of the year this year. Let's just put it that way. I don't know. Spider-Man 2 is great. It's a really good interactive movie that has gameplay sometimes. Even when I'm playing it in like the open world stuff. I mean, I platinumed the first one. It's immediately clear when I play it like right off after playing Baldur's Gate 3 or going to that after Spider-Man 2. Like, yeah, even the combat, like when you actually are in control, it's so automated. Like the combat is, I rarely play games on hard mode because most of the time all that means is you spend longer punching enemies. I had to set the game to hard mode. It's so simple. It's just so easy. And like this, I don't know. It's good. It's very good for what it is. As a Spider-Man game, it's very good. But like, just as a video game in 2023, I go from Baldur's Gate 3, where there is a quest where you encounter a guy who is surrounded by a group who is like mercenaries who are protecting him. And you can pickpocket his, according to Pat's stream of it anyway, this isn't what I did, but you can apparently pickpocket the money out of him. And then he won't have the money to pay his protection, and they'll, like, leave. Like, you cannot tell me that there's any other game released this year that's as good as that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have some gripes about Baldur's Gate 3. It's not perfect. But it's the best game released in, like, the last decade. I don't know. Maybe that's going a bit far. Because you got Persona 5 and stuff. It's definitely the best game of the year. I would easily say that. Spider-Man 2 is, you know, again, as a Spider-Man game, it's good. It's doing what it needs to. I like the new parts of the map. But there's just an element that's kind of, like, lacking. I'm like, man, there is a new bunch of the map, but, like, what reason do I really have to, like, really explore it? One of my favorite parts in the game so far was, early on, Peter and, Harry go for a bike ride. I really enjoyed it. It was just a small little set piece moment, and I was like, man, I hope you can just go for a bike ride in this game. I don't think you can. You probably can't, like, just on demand. But, like, that was nice, because it actually forced me to be on the street level and like, interact with, like, the street, rather than just fucking soaring above the sky, you know, flying with my spider wings. Which, by the way, now Spider-Man 2 is basically a Superman game. Like, or any other superhero that flies. Like, most of the time you can just fly wherever you need to go. You don't even need to swing. It's pretty good. I do like, actually, though, one thing that I said that the game's a little automated. One thing that they did that I actually really like, they added a slider in the menu. You can change how automated some of the swinging physics are. So, I actually set it all the way off. When I first started, and it was too much. It was too much. I felt like I needed a little bit of auto correction. So yeah, actually, the swinging in original Spider-Man PS4 was like really satisfying to look at, but it's so mechanically easy to do that it's so easy to do mechanically that it's not really very interesting, like or whatever. But this game adds an element to that, so you can make the swinging a little bit more complex. It was a little too hard for me. I set it back up to like, it was at 10 to begin with. I set it to like 0, and then I was like, no, this is too much. I set it to like 3. So it's like mostly not too much autocorrection on the swinging, but yeah, they give you that option. And that's a nice little thing. I would have liked a little bit more like that, but Spider-Man 2 is pretty good so far. One I will say also, another thing, not to go off for too long about it, not for too long. Spider-Man 2's story so far is bothering me a little bit because it has so many moments that feel like they're just the most copy-paste, like, great power, great responsibility cutscene or whatever. Like, there's a part with Aunt May and Peter, like a flashback scene. There's actually some really good flashback stuff. There's a part with him in high school, and he looks like 60s Peter Parker with a stupid fucking part haircut. It's kind of great. But there's a scene with Aunt May, and it's just so schmaltzy. And there's a really similar scene, or two maybe even, with Miles. But there are things in the story that I've liked so far. I really like, there's a part there, when, early spoilers, I guess. If you want to buy the game and play it for yourself, that's fine. There's a part early on, where the supervillains are obviously going to break out of the raft, as they are wont to do, and they do. And Miles is in the position to stop Mr. Negative, Martin Lee from the first game, who I guess was kind of forgot, but he's the reason ultimately, I think he's the one who caused the attack that his dad died in. He has a moment where he's like about to kill him or just let him die, and the best moment in the story so far is the Craven Hunter people are taking Martin Lee away for whatever nefarious purposes. I haven't gotten that far in the story yet, but there's a part there where Miles confronts him, and and Martin Lee goes, "You were gonna let me die," and he goes, "You have no idea what you took from me." And I was just like, because the moment that I saw, because it seemed at the moment like he's just gonna free him. It's gonna be this stupid fucking Spider-Man thing where, oh, I have to do it for the greater good. No, I just, for once, I was happy to see, like, and clearly the character arc will be him learning to not kill people or whatever, but man, it was nice to just, like, see a bit of a vengeful Spider-Man. I like that. It's same with Batman. I would just love to see him just kill the Joker a little bit more often. You do see it once or twice. It's happened. And it's always great. It's always great. Because it's always such a fucking eye roll whenever it's like, oh, you're really just... I get your fucking moral code, dude, but you know that more people will just die because you won't just fucking kill. You have the power to do this right now. Be a pragmatist. I'm sorry. I get it. It's gonna fuck you up, but like, you're already Spider-Man. Your life already sucks. Just kill the villain. Fuck. And that's part of his story, but like, man, I don't know. This is a good moment. There's some good moments. There's some good moments in there. There's a lot of schmaltzy stuff too, though. It's not always so great, but $5 from Dr. Grubius. I ain't religious. We are continuing the stream, by the way. In fact, you know what? This will be the last one I read. We're going to continue with more garbage. More garbage. $5 from Dr. Grubius. I ain't religious, but it would be extremely gratifying to see God come down and banish all internet coomers. I hate them with every fiber of my being. You know, a level-headed, fair, and reasonable take, honestly. So we're going to move on at this point. There's more super chats and stuff here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. We will read them. We will continue to read them, but we are moving along. And this is a tttrash ssstream, where we started with some Sniper Wolf discussion, but we're not going to continue. We're not going to look at Sniper Wolf's videos or anything. I just wanted to talk about it. Just talk about it with you folks. We're going to continue with some other non-Sniper Wolf related stuff. I was recommended this last night. This is, I think Griff recommended this one. Or no, Delcos, I think, recommended this one.
Horror Cow Archive. Perry Caravello forced into being a lol cow for stream. Continuing adventure. And I don't remember exactly what was said about this other than crinkle warning. It's 8 minutes. It's unlisted. It's got 5 views. Apparently it was like posted on the forums. I don't know. I've seen Perry Caravello at some point before. I don't know what context it was or what's going on in this guy's life, but I can already see that, well, this looks like it's promising. It looks like it's promising. Oh yeah, we have it at auto 144p again, because again, when I have my video in picture-in-picture mode while I'm playing Baldur's Gate, my computer is just decent enough that I can run it at high settings and have a video running at 144p in a tiny window. If I have it at like 720p, then the game starts to chug noticeably. I mean, it already does sometimes, but you know, yeah, gotta reset it there. Tom Brennan forces Perry Caravello to wear a diaper in his own apartment after urinating in it 2 or 3 dozen times. He is forced to weigh the used diaper on camera. So this sounds exciting, everybody. I hope you're all here for this. You know, moving on from Sniper Wolf, now we get to what, you know, what we're all really gathered here for, which is diapers. The famous ABDL reviewer DeadwingDork is here to guide you on this quest, on this adventure. Let's watch. What? Well, there's no sound. Is there supposed to be sound?
Unfortunately.
There is. Okay, he's scratching his balls. He's scratching his balls. There's no sound here, though. Well, you know, we can already see the... Oh. We can already see the room that he's in. You know, definitely what we might refer to as a bit of a scum room, I think you might say. Definite scum room. We've got, like, it looks like there's some album parodies. This is like that one God painting or whatever. I forget the name of it. That one. We got just bottles everywhere, boxes everywhere, cartons and like crates. There's a microphone box, it looks like, over here. I'm not sure why you still need the box. Maybe he's planning on returning it. The air conditioner up here is clearly just... It's like, it doesn't look like it's distributing the air that well because it's being blocked by whatever this poster is. And then, you know, all the way over here, you've got just a whole room filled with garbage. I like the chufty, this is the statue of David, I think. He looks like extra, like, large. Maybe this is meant to accommodate his body shape. I don't know. But there's a lot going on here. So much character all over every wall here. Is this the fucking Looper poster, but it has his face on it? It is. That's what it is. It's him in a hat on top of the Looper poster. And that is consistent. There's another, whatever the image this is him in a hat and then another guy with like long hair. So this is like a living meme human being, I guess. This is like, I mean, what's notable about this is Perry Caravello is not a name that I know nearly as well as a name like King Cobra JFS, and yet this feels like the kind of room King Cobra would get, with just like a bunch of weird paraphernalia based on him and that kind of thing. For a guy who's kind of underground, he has so much shit here that's got his face all over it, as if he was like a huge deal, like a Chris Chan or something. Maybe that's part of his thing. He, you know, he's like he's trying to force himself as a meme or something. I don't know. But we got no sound. Piss pantsu, definitely a genre in Japan. Oh yeah. Is that the diaper? That's got to be it there. You know, and we don't need sound really, because I mean, all you need to know is that he's got a microwave here, so if he really needs to, he can microwave that diaper. He can nuke the hell out of that diaper. I don't know that he will. Oh, he threw it in the garbage. What the hell? Okay, I gotta say, when he came into the frame here, you see him on the side? You see how he looks like Danny DeVito playing a Klingon? Like, he's got like a forehead that looks like Worf. But, okay.
No, I genuinely thought he was like wearing like he left the frame and he came back and he was wearing like a forehead prosthetics or something. No, I think he's just unfortunate. We got some gunt there. Tom Brennan forces. Okay, well we already. Now is there sound? There is.
It in for me.
But no, you have to say it.
I, Perry Caravello, am a heterosexual man.
Well, I guess you got to see if you get any payments. Now, Perry, it looks like we got a leak going on there. I think you should. I think you're gonna have to, unfortunately, change.
So this is like a blue spike type of person. It sounds like. It sounds like this person. I don't know what Perry Caravello's deal is, but it sounds like, at first glance, it looks like whoever this guy is, Tom, is like manipulating this like crazy guy or something, I guess. Is he gonna force him to shove a medallion up his ass next? See, the thing about Blue Spike that was like the one thing you could say about Blue Spike was that he was 12 or something, so like it's understandable that he was a bit of a fucking sociopath because everybody is when they're 12, or at least every boy is. This guy sounds like he's like an adult, so what you doing, buddy? I don't know. I don't know about this.
We'll be right back.
Oh, boy.
Stop all your...
Take your fucking satanic, evil, cocksucking bag, fucking... you make this fucking sick bag...
Hey, psychopath! Hey, psychopath! Hey, psychopath!
I mean, okay, it's funny. The guy's going off like Yosemite Sam. It's funny. That being said... the guy who's sitting here, like, trolling him and going, hey, psychopath, like... You recognize that, I mean, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't recognize that, you know, you are also kind of a degenerate. Like, I mean, you have to be in this scenario. Just like, look at how great I am shit-talking this idiot on the internet. This stupid loser.
Hey, psychopath. Hey, psychopath.
I mean, this guy clearly has problems. What is this doing for you? I guess lulz? I guess. I suppose.
Hungry mouth. If Perry guzzled your cock, we need to talk.
I'm sorry, Ars.
He was the restaurant owner dude in Smiling Friends. This guy was? I vaguely remember what you're talking about. Vaguely. Because I know that they were going to have Chris Chan. Wait, wasn't that the same episode? They were going to have Chris Chan be... one of the, like, employees at the burger shop or whatever, right? I forget. I think it was the same episode.
See?
You're a fucking liar. Everything written or said on this...
Chris was going to be the puddle,
It's a fucking evil, demented, psychotic lie. Sorry, RC. Never sorry.
So people are saying that they've been orally attacked by Perry. So yeah, it is just a bunch of people, like, trolling this guy. I don't know. This is, like, my least favorite genre of lolcow is the, like, person who's just... I don't know. This is the heavy Cyrax feeling of, like... What am I supposed to do? Just watch this guy freak out and watch a bunch of degenerates make fun of this, like, insane guy, like, and manipulate him and whatever and troll him. I don't know. The whole thing is just sad. It's just a sad scenario. I don't know. It's not very funny. It's kind of, the concept of it is kind of funny, but it's like, what do you do with that? It's just some guy thinks he's like super cool and superior for calling the guy who clearly is a psychopath and is clearly screaming and has problems and is being driven to his wit's end by, like, these trolls, I'm sure. You know, just calling him, like, hey, psychopath, because I'm so much better than you. I don't know, that just rubbed me the wrong way. It's like, it's one thing when you're Blue Spike and you're 12, but that guy sounds like he's my age. I don't know, man. That's embarrassing. It's the same thing with Cyrax. Like, if the only thing that's funny about this is these people who are, like, equally fucked up, just, like, poking and prodding at this guy, and, I mean, I don't know, there's probably more context. I do remember looking at Perry Caravello at some point before, so I'm sure there's more to be said there. That one video was just kind of unpleasant. I don't know. For all I know, he deserves that kind of behavior. You know, Chris Chan, that's the other thing, is like, say what you will about Blue Spike. Chris Chan's a piece of shit. Yeah, he kind of deserves to be fucked with a little bit. A little bit. You know, some of what he got is like, you were really not a great person and continue to not be a great person to a lot of the people around you. So, you know, maybe. But, I don't know. Maybe that's the case with that fellow. It just seems, that guy is his publicist. He actually does help him in his life. He talks to him daily. Really? You don't fully understand? I probably don't. No. The publicist? Okay, well, publicist is cool and all. I don't think that necessarily means he's not taking advantage of the guy. There was a full chat room of people there going like, yeah, Perry fucked me, and all of this stuff, like, you know, pinning these, like, stupid joke false allegations or whatever on him. I don't know. Again, I don't understand all of what's going on, but it doesn't seem, just because he's his publicist or whatever. I believe that he talks to him every day. Yeah, that's probably why the guy's like this at this point, because he's being fucked with by some dude every day of his life. It's not. I don't know, it reminds me of that Candy's cooking person who was trying to open the fucking jar, and there was just like somebody filming them filming her having this horrible fucking mental breakdown. She was like, God, oh, this is what I get for being a lesbian. Oh God, open the goddamn jar. And she was just having so much trouble. And the person holding the camera could have stepped in and done something, and we all in the chat were just like, oh, so whoever is like filming this is either like facilitating it and, you know, egging her on, or is in a position where they could maybe step in and help them, but they're not. And that's just the same kind of scenario I get here. Again, I might be wrong. But we're gonna continue though. Let's see here. I mean, here's the thing though, it does say Horror Cow Archive, so, like, he's probably done a lot of things, actually. If he's a horror cow, that word isn't just thrown around lightly. We might need to look at more Perry Caravello at some point. I'm willing to assume that the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. Let me see here. So, okay. We looked at this fellow. Oh, this is exciting. We looked at this fellow a while ago. There was a stream I did back in, like, I don't know, November last year or something. And I did a video where we looked at this guy named Paul. He made a very strange pizza that featured a pizza that featured ground up beef, like blended beef rather, roast beef, cooked roast beef that he blended and then grated into his crust. He then put entire cloves of garlic on top. This person was named Paul. And recently we were informed that Paul has an entire second channel. And we did watch one of his videos. It was the fish cakes down here, which were quite bad. Really resoundingly bad. And I thought we would look at a little bit more from Paul here. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, okay? Because the fish cakes that's an old video. The camera was bad, you know, really low quality footage. We're going to go with one of the newer videos. We're going to give him the best chance that he has of impressing us. We're going to click this one here. Well, no, actually, well, okay. I wanted to do roast beef pasty because it has the most views. This one also has a lot of views and looks more disgusting. Blueberry yogurt cake. And for some reason, there just appears to be, like Pepto in there? What is the pink stuff? It might just be the lighting, but there appears to be pink stuff. I mean, I guess that's that must be the yogurt. That's the yogurt, I guess? Does yogurt go in a fucking cake? I guess we're gonna find out.
Hello, today what I'm gonna show you is how to make cherry...
Warning, he is British. Warning.
...yogurt cake. And again, we're using Kenwood Chef. we're going up market again. So,
Oh, I saw the Hitler video. Yeah, no, there. Worthington Snot MP on Brexit. I don't know. Have any idea what this means or is trying to say. I'm sure we'll click on it, but I need to know what the pink sauce yogurt cake is here with blueberries.
we're going up market again. So, this is going to be a fairly quick one. It's usual procedure of making a cake. Bring a lot of space here. 100 grams of flour.
Okay. Only 100 grams? That seems light.
Put that in there.
Uh-huh.
50 grams of margarine.
50 grams
mix in
specifically.
this. Because Kenwood Chef does it all for you.
It always has to be margarine, too. It can't just be... Could not possibly be butter. I mean, it can't even be like one of the kinds of butter of margarine that tries to taste like butter. I mean, I guess it is. It's brilliantly buttery, but it's from the... It's Asda brand here, man. You gonna do better than British Great Value. Come on.
I think there is a modern version actually. It's just basically a food mixer. And it's mounted on a bowl. And it's sort of stuff that you get these days.
Oh, this isn't Scottish. This is like... I think this is like from the north, kind of. I don't know. I'm not super familiar. It's not Scottish, though.
Probably very good.
Or Irish.
It ain't very well made.
This might be like Welsh or something. I don't know.
So you got 50 grams of margarine.
Sheffield.
50 grams of sugar.
50 grams of sugoth.
I'm a bit tight for space, and I could do with a wide-angle camera for this, but
Yeah, we really need all the fisheye that we could get on this.
nothing's there. So that's 50 grams of sugar, and
No, it's funny because he's very specifically meting out these, you know, these portions and everything. And, I mean, I'm just wondering how he can fuck up a recipe where the portions are so specific. Like, clearly the recipe is telling him specifically 50 grams of margarine. So, how is it ultimately going to be terrible in the end? Maybe it won't.
your next ingredient
I guess the
is
recipe could be bad.
1 egg, and only 1 egg. Some cakes ask for 4 eggs, but
Wow, that's
you
quite a
just need
disparity.
1.
Well, your cake only has 100 grams of fucking flour, so that's not that much.
And main ingredient is cherry yogurt.
Wait, he put butter back in the butter box? What do you mean?
50 grams.
Oh, yeah.
So you got 50.
I mean, I don't know, that's fine, probably. Well, there is, like, sugar and like, flour on that margarine now. God, it looks so unappetizing, too. It's always this, like, fluorescent, like, yellow. It just never looks like something you should be eating. You know, they made margarine for, like, soldiers in World War I or some shit. I remember here, I don't know if I remember if it was World War I exactly, but it was, like, French soldiers made this shit to, like, go, you know, so that they could go into fucking combat, and if they needed to eat something, they had margarine there, because butter would go bad. So they had this, like, horrible garbage margarine shit. I mean, I have margarine in the fridge. It's fine sometimes. You put it in, like, a sauce or something if you're making, like, a spaghetti sauce. It adds a little something, you know, but it's always going to be worse than butter, though. I mean, it's every time. You make a cake with this shit? Oh, disgusting.
50 grams of margarine.
Margarine. Vaseline butter, yeah.
50 grams of sugar. I'm a bit tight for space.
Wait, hang on, what? Oh, Yeah, okay. Yeah, we jumped ahead. We jumped back, right? So he's adding the sugar. Everything seems fine. He's just mixing it so far. He's putting in his yogurt.
Until your mixture's all covered. Just cover your mixture.
Wait, hang on.
Only one egg.
One egg, right. You put in the egg. You put in the yogurt.
Just cover your mixture with cherry yogurt.
Red cherry.
So you can see it.
So it's blueberry. So it's a blueberry cake with red cherry yogurt. I guess that's fine. You know, you do a little bit of a little Wendy's freestyle Coke machine mix and match. You put together some orange Coke, some strawberry Coke, whatever. You blend them. You know, sure. You know, a little cherry, a little blueberry. That's fine. But I just don't know. I've never heard of a yogurt cake before. This does not seem like it's gonna end well. Yeah, it looks like chicken. It doesn't look like yogurt. I think I'm just so expecting that it will be disgusting that I'm looking at this and it's like, it looks like the pink slime shit that they make like chicken nuggets out of.
Start with cherry yogurt.
Slopper.
Then you put your blueberries in.
Well, here's the thing, Postman. You say margarine's good for, like, grilled cheese. It is, and it can be. And much like anything with margarine, it can be fine. You know, the best it can ever hope to be, the highest it can aspire to, though, is fine. It's never going to be more than fine. You're never going to be like, oh yeah, you need to have margarine with this. No, it's always going to be better if you have it with butter. It's just it always will be. And, you know, the recipes that are like, add in your margarine, sometimes it's fine. I don't know, with a cake, though, I feel like it's a little weird. You gotta have butter in a cake. Ugh. There's a lot of things, though, where if I look at them, I would be like, yeah, no, yeah, you could probably want butter with that, yeah. Not margarine.
100 grams of blueberries here, so we'll put all them in. It will fill when I start. And let's mix it up with...
Now somebody says that they've heard of yogurt while making cakes, but not fat-free. I don't know, that would probably do something to it, yeah. I mean, the yogurt says it's made with milk, so... Don't cakes, usually, wouldn't you add, like, a bit of milk to a cake mix? Maybe not, I don't know, maybe that's... Well, that's a cake mix, he's doing this from scratch. Maybe no milk is needed. The milk is added in the thing. I remember the fucking fish cakes that he made, though. Like, the last time we watched a recipe from this guy, and every other time we've watched a recipe from this guy, the food has been astonishingly not in the format that you would expect it should be, based on the title of the food at the end of it, including another cake that he made, which was supposed to be like a fucking sandcastle cake, but it just wound up looking like depression. So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see if the cake winds up looking right, at least. I mean, the fish cakes look terrible. I remember he put some weird shit in there. He put, like, fucking grated ground beef into his fucking pizza. So, you know, who's to say what he'll add to this cake? There could be anchovies incoming. We don't know. Certainly blueberries.
He's pretty good at doing this job. See what happens.
I don't think I'm getting gunted. I have no frame drops, and nobody else in chat is saying it. I think it's just you, friend. Yeah, the pineapple pizza. Now, again, as somebody, as an enlightened centrist who loves pineapple on my pizza because it is the correct centrist viewpoint to have about pizza, he put far too much, just a full, like, wedge of pineapple on each. Like, it was like a quarter of a pineapple on each slice of pizza. It was ridiculous. Oh, he added the blueberries. I didn't even notice.
Well, it's not looking very good. You know how butter is supposed to, like... I don't know. It's turning into, like, weird... like, clumps of weird butter yogurt egg. Oh god, oh god. It's not really mixing very well. Oh god. Is this... and, like, there's no yeast or anything in here. Isn't there supposed to be, like, yeast in a cake mix? Is this thing even gonna fucking rise? Don't you need it to, like, rise a bit or something? I don't know. I'm not a big baker, right? Like, if I make a cake, usually it'll be like a fucking Duncan Hines. But, I feel like baked goods generally have yeast in them. Maybe he'll still add that. That's bread. No yeast okay, alright, okay. Oh, no, there's no yeast is needed. Okay, I'm not an expert baker. I'm only an expert when it comes to spaghetti sauce and other various foods that I have specifically spec'd into. So that's fair. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Takes about 2 minutes to mix it.
Alright, we're just gonna sit here for the whole okay, are we gonna see this thing when it's done? No.
That's basically it, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, bro! You can't do that! It's not the first time he's done it, too. The fucking pizza video, he did the same shit. He put together this ridiculous pizza that we knew the fucking dough was not gonna fucking work. It was gonna fall apart. And then he just didn't film himself cooking it. He just fucking makes this bizarre doughy shit slop. And then he's just like, alright, that's it, thanks for watching! You can't do that! Well, I guess we'll never fucking know if the cake is any good. I guess we'll fucking never know. Uh-oh, it's Hitler. Uh-oh. So he's filming, like, his television, I guess, and then, oh.
Like me.
Oh. Never mind. He's got an important message for the nation.
My name's Worthington Snot.
Oh, this is a joke, everybody. This is comedy, everybody. This is his, because his name is Paul Foster, but this is his funny character, Worthington Snot, you see. So get ready to, who's ready to laugh?
If, like me, you're sick of hearing about Brexit, well, I have a plan.
Somebody says, is this Brexit Let's Play footage? Yeah, it's like, this is an Ashen's video where he would film, like, the screen from 2007 or something. He'd film the screen of a pop station and it would look like this. But for some reason, Worthington Snot is here.
This is how it's going to work. Instead of loads of MPs arguing about it for years on end, and getting nowhere, this is my Brexit invasion plan. Let me explain.
Alright.
You see, my plans...
Okay, tell me that this is... I guess the only reason this is better than Game Dude and the dinosaur action figures talking about his girlfriend, or his woman that he stalked, or whatever, is because this is only 2 minutes and 50 seconds, I guess. That's fine. He's just doing a little skit. That was like an hour or two.
Brexit. Instead of leaving Europe, we should be occupying Europe. And this is how it's going to work. This is my Brexit invasion plan for occupation of Europe.
Well, we got
Instead
the
of leaving Europe. First of all, we start in France. We invade France.
Can we agree that this is basically the British equivalent to Cooking with Hoarders? Because it's got the same feeling, doesn't it? Like, he would do the same thing where he would try to make, like, political jokes or whatever, and it would never land because he was just such a strange guy, and the video was so low quality, and we were too busy focusing on, like, the fucking production value and the guy himself, and, like, I don't know, he has, like, a thing that says Spain twats. So there's supposed to be a joke here, but it's just, this is still creepy. I don't know.
And then we move on to Spain. I don't like them anyway. And then finally we end up at Germany.
Oh.
And this is where his nibs and his that lot failed.
What?
They didn't have a Brexit invasion plan, which I've got.
Oh. So Hitler failed where this guy will succeed because he has the Brexit invasion plan. I see. Well, that's Worthington Snod MP there. There's more to that, I'm sure, but somebody is asking me to click on Tales from No Bend, and there's 2 of them here. So, and they're both pretty short. We'll do both. We got these little gnome fellas, it looks like. The second one is The Vicar's Revenge, so that's exciting. Welcome to the village of No Bend, twinned with Ars and Germany. Please drive on the road. $100 fine for taking the piss out of our village. Oh my god. Oh, he's fucking a sheep. He's fucking a sheep. Oh, that's not part of the actual figure. What are you doing? You've got him holding that sheep indecently, sir.
Oh dear, what is the vicar up to? It looks as though he's shagging a sheep right in front of the church.
Man, I'm really enjoying the, he had, fun fact, he actually got the license rights to use the soundtrack from After Last Season for this video, so that's really special.
Stop that at once, says the policeman. What would the bishop say about that? He can get a sheep of his own, says the vicar.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, I lay camera down now. Good night. He had to just have his emergency British cup of tea. Yeah, his tea levels were reaching critical. He had to have a sip real quick. He had to put down the camera and have a sip in the middle of his video. That's it. That's the video. Cool video. Tales from No Bend, and then part 2 over here. Welcome to the village of No Bend. If you're driving through our village, try not to run over my mother-in-law. Try 2, because it's crossed out. Try to run over my... That's good. This is like a series he was trying to do. Dr. Ebola? Well, we've read that, thank you.
This is PC Twat. He's just put a parking ticket on this lorry. I bet he's really proud of himself. Oh,
Did he fucking make these little creatures too? Because, like, they kind of... It's like AI-generated gnomes. Or, like, I don't know, yeah, like garden gnomes or something. Like, they kind of look like a gnome, but then the face is just like a mistake. And then the arm is, like, sticking off of, like, a metal joint or something. And I have to assume he made this. Nobody would sell this figure.
oh dear, what's happening now? You better watch out.
Ah!
Oh dear me, what's happened?
The twat is dead.
I think the vicar's taken his revenge.
Yeah, I guess it's plasticine. So is this essentially dolly flesh? I don't know. Less gory dolly flesh. A great, good video. So that just reminded me a lot of a thing here, which I will look up. What the fuck is it? It's, which fucking video was it? I can't even remember. Oh man, I will never... Yeah, there's an Ashens video. Ashens, back in the day, he doesn't do it so much anymore. He used to do these, like, weird little skits. These, like, creepy, strange little skits. And if you look up... I'll try, like, Pop Station. If you look at, like, some of the early Pop Station stuff. There's gotta be one here, like, Neo Double Games, maybe?
Hello.
He'd be on... This was earlier on, before he had, like, an established format. But, like... There were a few... The science book.
Right.
No, okay. I don't think that's... Oh yeah, it's this whole segment here. Yeah, this... So, you were watching this video about, like, a fucking, you know, shitty LCD handheld game bootleg thing from Chinatown. And then the video ends, and now this is happening.
4, 3, 7, 0, 6, 4, 3, 7, 0, 6, 8, 5, 2, 1, 4, 8, 5, 2, 1, 4, 2.
Oh dear, what is the vicar up to?
1.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just British humor that I don't understand. It's good stuff though. What is this? It's just weird old Ashens videos. I have to assume that Ashens... well, I mean, they're both British. That doesn't mean that they necessarily were like... Paul Foster doesn't necessarily have to be a fan of Ashens or anything. Oh god, the fucking buzzing. So yeah, he has non-food videos, he has food videos, he has flapjacks here. I wanted to do the roast beef pasty, because it reminds me, because he's got his beef in a fucking blender again. He's doing this fucking thing with the beef in the blender.
Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make a roast beef pasty. And
whatever that is.
To start with...
Is that like one of those things you put over your nipples?
You need to put your roast beef in oven for 2 hours.
In oven.
It's on a low...
Make sure you don't burn yourself and wind up in hospital.
Gas mark or a low electric mark. And you need to cook this straight away. So here's how...
Well, if this is like a meat pie kind of thing, there's fucking no way he's gonna make this correctly. Cause like, okay, hear me out. The fish cake idea that he tried to make, he destroyed that. And the fish cake is infinitely easier than the meat pie. So I will say, whatever reason, you know, blending up your beef or whatever might be something that you do with like a meat pie kind of scenario, but I can't imagine him making this correctly.
Here's some I've had in oven for 2 hours, and you wrap it in foil and As you've noticed, you get a lot of juice off it. And that's best part of roast beef. All the juice you get off it. Just unwrap that. And that's been going in the oven for 2 hours.
Does this even look like beef? What the fuck? This is like ribs. Is it? What did he say about this?
As you've noticed, you get a lot of juice off it.
Yeah,
and that's
sure
best
do.
part of roast beef.
Roast
All
beef.
the juice you get off it. Just unwrap that.
This is your roast beef. Okay, first of all, when you first take it out of the thing, it's looking green. You say you just cooked it. I'm sure you did, but it's not a first impression that's great. But it looks like ribs. It's so thin. That's a roast?
That's been going in the oven for 2 hours.
Why is it like that? Why are there 2 other lumps? Were you just cooking like 3 tiny weird little cuts of meat and calling them roasts? What part of the beef? Yeah, I don't know.
All together.
And there's definitely 0 seasoning. Well, he's British. The seasoning is boiled. He probably boiled it in water before he fucking roasted it or something. So that's the seasoning. Yeah, there's most likely no seasoning. The flavor is meat.
So
that looks like... Yeah, this is like real shit cut beef. Like this is... You can see this part of the beef is hanging on to this part by like a thread of gristle and fucking sinew. It's also like weird sloppy... Ugh. Why do you have 3 different roasts? What the fuck is this?
You just take these.
I've never seen any... Just get one large roast. You could get like one of those single roasts that's like fucking $40 and it's like 5 pounds and you just cut it into pieces and use it, or like freeze it or whatever. You could get one of those.
Our tin foil. And you get loads of juice off this, which is really nice. So
how do you get... Okay, British people in chat, are you... Is this like just what you get when you go to a fucking British like supermarket and you say, you know, either you look for a roast or you ask the butcher or whatever, like, hey, give me roast beef, and they just give you this? Is this normal? Or is this just some more strange comedy life shit from this guy who just somehow lives wrong in every way that's possible to?
What I've done is, before I put it in the oven is...
No, this looks horrible.
Because if you got a crap oven like mine...
Somebody says the North is in permanent poverty. He probably found those somewhere. Oh god, it's roadkill. Oh jeez.
It don't cook it all the way through if you just put it all in one piece, so you've got to cut it up into 3 pieces.
This is very horrific. Roasts tend to be better. I would assume that, yeah, I mean, England is known for having, like, farms and stuff. I would assume that their meat is fine. I would assume that there's no excuse for getting meat that looks like this unless you just... My thought is, like, maybe he went into the butcher shop and he was like, do you have anything I could roast up in my in oven? And they're like, what do you mean roast up? You mean like a beef roast? And he's like, no, like something I could roast in oven. But it's like beef, right? But not like a full cut. Just like a little. What do you mean a little? Maybe I could get like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 little roasts. Like steaks even. What do you mean little roasts? I don't know. Even I can't imagine a butcher I don't know.
So, you've got to do this before this meat cools down.
I told the butcher to fuck me up, yeah. He went into the butcher. He thought it was the barber shop meme. He went into the butcher shop and went, just fuck my life up, fam. He gave him the full just. That's what this meat is.
Otherwise you get a build-up of bacteria. If you let your meat cool down before you put it in your pasty, there's every chance you'll get bacteria. And that's a big no-no. So I'll put this to one side.
Fucking what? Excuse me? Bacteria? I don't think... Did you cook the meat? I think it's fine, probably.
Died.
Unless this is roadkill.
On second thoughts, I won't bother.
Somebody says, why so many water? Well, because that's the good part about roasting the beef, I guess, because it... He said something about that earlier, like, that's what's great about it, it gets really juicy, and I'm like, I've never seen a beef roast necessarily be this juicy, but he's had it sitting in tinfoil for a while, so maybe it accumulated some juiculations or something.
Make a pastry.
Uh-oh. It's always fucking everybody cool until he starts bringing out the flour. What is he gonna do with this flour? He doesn't have a bowl for it yet. Is he grabbing one? No, he's grabbing the Mudge!
What I'll do first is
Sorry. Is that... There's like something dark on there. Is that like foil from a wrapper or... There's like shit in there, man. I don't know, man.
And what I'll do first is I'll get the bowl.
Yeah, you gotta get a fucking bowl, dude. He's like starting to make the pastry part of this, I believe. By the way, I will have to cut the stream pretty soon because I have to go get booze. Because we're doing episode 21 of the podcast, baby. And episode 21 means we're gonna drink hard and party hard! So I'm gonna get beer and put it in my fucking thermos like I have a problem. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna go to the store, I'm gonna get the beer, I'm gonna put it in my thermos, I'm gonna drink it on my way home. Because the thing is, you got beer in a thermos, nobody knows. Nobody's gonna know it's booze. You know, as far as they know, you're just drinking apple juice or something. You know, it's fine. Or just water even. They don't know. Maybe it's coffee. But no, it will be beer indeed.
Usual flour into a bowl for pastry.
No, not Iron Wrath. It's British cooking with orders.
And this is best bit. Instead of using water for your pastry mix, you can use gravy off at roast beef.
Oh god, no, I knew he was gonna say that. I knew it. He's gonna use instead of water for the pastry. Maybe that is a technique you can use, but man, that doesn't sound... I don't know, man.
So you put...
Given what we've seen of the beef, that just makes it sound like the pastry's also gonna be terrible.
Your gravy, or you juice up your roast beef, straight into your pastry mix. Then just mix it round. And this will sort of flavour your pastry. Pour a bit more in.
Yeah, he calls it gravy. I remember there was a great scene in, like, The Sopranos, where I think it was Joe Pantoliano's character. I think it was him. He's, like, making pasta. And I remember just being fucking floored at the way he was talking. I think he was making a noodle that was not macaroni, which he referred to as macaroni. And then he called the sauce gravy, which I guess that show is made by and for and with Italians, so I would assume that that's just the way it should be. It's not even like I'm like, wow, you're so wrong. It's like, wow, that's just so dumb that I didn't realize it could be right. Okay. He is like, and then you take the macaroni and you put it in the gravy. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're making spaghetti. What the fuck is this? Sunday gravy. Oh, right. red gravy. Jesus Christ. I mean, the problem is they're not wrong, but it's the same thing where it's like, well, at that point, it's one of those is cereal a soup kind of discussions, which it is. It's a soup. But therefore, isn't a sauce just a soup? Like, depending on how chunky I like a full, rich sauce that has a lot of vegetables and beef and stuff. You know, isn't that essentially just a chili at that point? Like, really, what is anything, frankly? You know, food is fluid, really.
Needs to be a lot stiffer than that. Get pastry mix nice and stiff.
So he's mixing his beef juice and his flour and...
Now, next comes best bit.
Best bit.
You need to put your beef
into a blender. Of course you do. Right, of course you do, buddy.
But the thing about this is...
He loves this. Like, I love that he calls it the best bit, because it is. This is the part we're all waiting for, when he puts beef into a blender. Which, I guess, as I said earlier, there's maybe a reason to do that here. You know, beef in the blender. Because you're making it for your like little meat pie things. But the fact that he's excited about putting the meat in the blender, just like he did with the pizza. Man, this is like the best part of the day for him.
But roast beef is one of the few things...
Oh yeah, the blender is disgusting. I mean, it looks like the outside of it hasn't been washed. Speaks volumes to the inside, especially given what we know he's blending. There's probably like old beef residue in there. And whatever is down here. I mean, I will say my shitty little blender that I have, I remember the last time I did a cooking stream, it like broke. It's been working since then, but it makes weird noises and kind of a bad smell. But at least it doesn't look like this. It's clean, goddammit.
It'll blend without water. Roast beef will blend without liquid. It's one of the few things that will, strangely enough. So,
cooking with the White Glove Society. Yeah, maybe that's what this beef is. Maybe it's not beef. Maybe that's why the cuts look weird.
Oh, a few things around.
Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. There is scum. There is very clear scum. To borrow a line from Elaine, germs are building a town in there. This is just scum. Wash your blender and then make the video, sir.
You cut into your roast beef. Into blender while it's still hot.
Right. So he's cutting his meat. He's gonna make the loud cutty noises. And now he makes the blendy noises.
One of the few fascinating things about this, because it'll blend into a powder, and it'll do this real strangely, rather really easy. So once you got your roast...
Well, there's like a lot of juice in there, as we've already seen, so that's probably helping it to blend. But yeah, he's fascinated by like the physics of the beef blending. He's like, it's so fast, it's amazing, it turns into a powder. He's really, really into blending the meat, I think. He really likes this.
Beef blended into a powder form.
It's powder,
and
yeah, beef
blending
powder.
With anything really brings out flavour, especially in roast beef.
You know what else does? Spices. You know those things that you, like, destroyed half the world for or whatever? I don't know, according to some people on the internet. You know those things that at the very least, several wars were fought over. You guys like colonized the whole fucking planet for spices, and you need to blend your meat to bring out the fucking flavor. Are you fucking kidding me? Throw some saffron on it, you piece of shit.
Save time messing about. I'm gonna roll this out on a plate.
Okay, he's making this as like a full meat pie, it looks like, with a full pie plate. Yeah, there's no fucking way he's gonna make this pie correctly, I'm sorry. Like, he's got the dough over there, he's got the meat, I just don't see it happening. He doesn't have any liquid for it, for one thing. We aren't gonna see it, the finished product, we know that. He's gonna cuck us from seeing the final thing. Probably because it'll look like shit and be inedible, but, you know, like every other time he does that. But we aren't gonna be able to see what it looks like at the end. But he's already put all the liquid from this roast into the flour mixture. So there's no more of what he called gravy on this plate. Nor is there macaroni. So that's we're really boned. But, you know, typically, I don't know about a beef pasty, but typically like a meat pie has like a beef and kind of a gravy sort of thing in there. So if this is going to be like dry beef powder, as he described it, as, you know, blended in the thing, inside of this dough, I mean, that's one element that'll be terrible, but the other element that'll be terrible is there's just no chance. I don't think he is going to be capable of making a pie crust, like closing it up and having it work properly and like be shaped correctly or anything. It's going to look bad. We already know that. That goes without saying.
Half at pastry mix. Not forgetting to grease your plate before.
Christ, this video is a fucking auditory feast. We got blending, electric cutting, we got tin foil, we got British accents. And this is after he fixed his fucking camera so the whole thing doesn't sound like buzzing death. Why are you... Oh. Alright, that's fair. Kind of a weird way of doing that, but I guess that works, sure.
Even as we speak.
You know what, that's a decent little life hack, I'll give you that. Take a little aluminum foil and do that if you don't want to get your hands messy. There you go, there's something. We learned something from Paul.
This roast beef is cooling down, which is really what you don't want. So you've got to be a bit nippy with this. You better off doing this with a spoon.
Yeah, like, I mean, India was like a British colony, right? I don't think they are anymore, but they were. So, or maybe they still are, I don't know. I know Hong Kong was. You know, both places that have real spicy food, if you look for it. I'm just saying, there's no excuse for this. There's just no excuse for, we need to blend the meat so it brings out its flavor. Add oregano to it! You know what sucks too? You know what sucks? You know what I always add if I'm making a roast or something? I will always add some Worcestershire sauce. You know where that word came from with that fucked up name that is not at all how it looks like it's pronounced? And I'm probably saying it wrong? Yeah, it's from fucking Britain. Of course it is. Cause it's supposedly English and it's fucking stupid garbage. It's Worcestershire. Fuck off. It's good, though. It's good. Why isn't he using any of that? Maybe he did. Maybe it was on the beef when he cooked it, but he could add some of that to... I don't know. I guess it is actually too late for it, but he didn't even mention any kind of seasoning, so as far as we know, the beef is just completely unseasoned. I'm willing to bet there's no fucking Worcestershire anywhere near there, you know?
Just even it out like that. Not making it too massive.
But he says, I thought it was from New England. Well, it's one of the Englands, goddammit. So he's showing this to us as if it's, like, ready to be shown to us. You need to spread it out more, sir. You're not done. Are you done? No, he's adding more. It's gonna be real thick on the bottom. He's got a lot of that, like, on just the bottom layer of it. That's gonna be so fucking thick.
You need to cover plate.
There's enough already that you don't need to add more. There's so much.
It's warm or cold. It's pasta.
I mean, maybe it's less than it looks like it is, but it looks like a lot.
Then
Comedy
you
pizza.
put your beef on top of dough mix.
So, you know what you would use this kind of beef for? You use this in a fucking onigiri. Or something like that. You know, like if they have like pork floss onigiri or like a shredded pork, something like that. That's what this looks like. This isn't gonna fucking work in this context, but I could see a use for this, hypothetically. If the blender hadn't been dirty before he blended it. You know, this is null and void, but hypothetically. Yeah, that's dough on the bottom, and that's the beef.
You get quite a lot as well. You get loads of this stuff. And you can either have it open top.
Beef isn't supposed to look like canned tuna. Well, I would agree, you know, but it isn't really supposed to look like the way it looked before either, so, I mean...
Or in a pie form. Should do it. Then you put rest of your roast beef on top. Rest of your dough mix on top.
Oh, the dough mix. Oh, we're done. No gravy needed. No seasoning needed. Just a mountain of fucking shredded, blended beef floss. And some fucking dough, and that's it. Eat your food. No salt and pepper. Not even any pee-pee poo-poo. None.
Just try and spread it out.
No, it's not pate. It's a pasty thing. It's like a meat pie.
Really elasticated this.
Oh, this is not working out, chat. What did I tell you? There's no chance he was gonna fucking put a pie crust together correctly. I knew exactly this was gonna happen. The shit was gonna stick to the fucking stuff, and it was gonna make this, like, weird, congealed mess of beef powder and sloppy flour scum. Oh my god. Oh, it's exactly as I... Yes, Sigmund! It is just as you prophesied, Sigmund!
Obviously, I haven't done enough dough to go over it, so...
Like flaming globes, Sigmund! Look at this fucking... Look at this. This is like you sneezed. And I don't even know. I don't even know, man. This is like when I'm making... Because somebody said it looked like tuna. This is like you sneezed cum everywhere. It's like I said when I make... somebody said it looks like beef has turned into tuna. This looks like when I make tuna and there's like mayonnaise in and then you mix it up. That's what it looks like. It doesn't look like dough. It looks like a bowl of tuna with mayo. And like you're gonna mix it together and make tuna sandwiches. If you told me that's what this was, I would believe you. I would wonder why there was margarine in the background. And also a fire extinguisher. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can. No, the bear is covering it, actually. There is a fire extinguisher just in the background, just in case. Just on the counter at any moment, at the slightest moment's notice. Just in case he needs it. Because look at this video. Of course he needs it. Yeah, this is a cum shot of a fucking meal right here.
Some of it's open top, but it doesn't really matter. What I can do is sprinkle some flour on top.
Oh, that'll do it. That'll do it. Don't worry, guys. He got it. He's got it. It's fine now. It's gonna be fine now.
And
This guy uses flour the way, like, Iron Wrath uses fucking, like, garlic powder or onion powder or what have you. Which is alarming because that's a seasoning. I don't know, we just constantly see him sprinkling flour into something. And it's like every fucking recipe he makes, he has some excuse to pour flour into it. He just loves using flour so much. I think British people think flour is a seasoning.
what I can do then is just pour some water on.
Just dump the whole goddamn thing in.
pour some water.
Oh, he's really fixing it now, boys. Don't you worry. He's got the flour and there's a little water there, so that'll do it. It'll instant dough.
Rubber top.
You could have just bought a pie crust. Like, there's no way that this video. I think this channel is a bit. I think it's taking the piss. I think it's taking the Mickey a little bit. I think it's slipping the Mickey a little bit. It slipped me one, and now I'm here. I think this channel is possibly taking the piss a bit because this. I mean, just fucking buy a pie crust, you ignoramus. You can't make this. You couldn't make the last fucking thing either. You could just buy a cake mix and add some yogurt to it or something if you wanted to try that. But instead, he's like insistent on making it himself. And it's just not a thing you can do, man. This is guzzling the septic tank. Well, that's what this food
Been
looks
done in
like.
a bit of a rush because I don't want beef skulls out. And you put that in the oven for about half an hour. Well, beef's still warm, obviously.
You put it in oven, yes. Put it in the... Did you fucking toaster oven your beef? Is that why it looks like that? Oh, God. I guess it's just an oven, technically, but... Ugh.
Gas mark for about half an hour.
It's half an hour.
And that should cook, really.
And that's the whole video. You don't... Of course you don't get to see what it looks like. I've figured out this guy's formula. This is the ultimate guy to make their recipes. Because we need to see what they actually turn out. I'm gonna make this guy's recipes at some point. I'm dedicated now, because everybody else, it's like, okay, well, you see how it works out for them. A lot of the fun is in how it will taste. Here, we don't even know what this shit's gonna wind up looking like. Like, what the fuck is that gonna turn out to look like? That's incomprehensible. I need to make that at some point. I should probably get going, but I want to watch one of these old ones too before we go. One of these ones back when the video quality was for shit. So he made some old Worthington Snot NP videos like 8 years ago. Beer and blackberry cake. Beer and blackberry cake, everyone. This sounds good.
Cake. And I've got some decent beer here. It's apple and spirit flavour beer, and it's the best sort of beer to use in a cake like this.
Apple, okay, alright.
Plus I've got some fresh raspberries from Beck. I've just picked them this morning. They're a lot cheaper than supermarket, these.
Oh.
And also I'm going to use...
Sure they're not poison berries? Just be careful.
Treacle in this. And instead of using milk, I'm going to put beer in, just to flavour it well.
Instead of using milk, how about beer? Mostly the same components, people don't realize. So, you know, it functions the same way in the baking process. It's a great replacement. It's just a nice little flavor thing. It's very similar molecularly, you know, to milk. Even the flavor profile, really, if you let the milk sit out for a while.
So I'll just put about a quarter of a bottle of beer into the mixture.
Oh man, oh guys, everybody settle down, alright? There's a Velociraptor in chat. Is the preeminent expert in fucking berries. He says, I don't know if there are any poisonous species in the genus Rubus, which comprises raspberries, blackberries, and other closely related plants. Oh, well. Yeah, you got me there. I didn't stop and consider the genus Rubus, you know? That was my failing. I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for the genus Rubus. Thanks for letting us know. I appreciate it. Thank you, Barry, man.
And trick is to put your raspberries in last, and you use beer instead of milk, and just mix it around like that in the usual way. It stinks a bit.
I'm sure it does, buddy.
Just mix it in the usual way.
Hey, no hate to the plant identifier. Berry science is cool. I just thought it was it was just like, how long have you been waiting to whip out berry science in like polite conversation? That's like not a thing that comes up often, so I guess you know what? You gotta take it where you can get it, right? Like, if berries are involved, you gotta be like, well, you know, I happen to be a bit of an expert when it comes to like, you know, when are you gonna get that opportunity otherwise? So, yeah, that's fair. It's fair. It's fine.
A little bit of baking powder in.
So he says, yeah, he says it never comes up in conversation. I'm sorry, it's good. It's good info. I mean, it's just fun. It's just a little bit funny. You know, I'm somewhat of a berry boy myself.
Another thing I'm using.
So it's like a... So instead of milk in this cake mix, he's using beer. Normal thing you replace milk with. He's got the berries in there. He's got... I guess that's an egg now, I would assume. And he says that it doesn't smell good, so, I mean...
Treacle, 1 or 2 tablespoons in.
Wait, what is this? Treacle?
Another thing I'm using is treacle, 1 or 2 tablespoons in.
What the
And
fuck
when you
is
put
this?
beer in
It's
it,
like molasses or some shit?
cake, you get a really nice smell off it, and a really nice berry smell of it.
Really nice beery smell. Well, yeah, beer batter is a thing. I don't know about beer cake batter. I mean...
Just mix
maybe.
it around like that.
I think you could probably do that depending on what you mix it with. I just don't know that berries would be it. I mean, maybe. It would be really dominant over the berry flavor, I feel. So it's like, if you would want a fucking cake that tastes like beer, I guess that would be something. Maybe it would be interesting. I don't know. Yeah, Trico, the best grass starter.
Of course, when you've poured your mixture into your
Treacle's like light molasses. Okay, alright, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess that's a thing you'd add to a cake mix. That seems fine. That seems fine. That seems... Well, I don't know... For the consistency of the cake, I don't know that would maybe be a good thing, because it's like really sticky or whatever, but maybe that would be nice for the cake. I don't know, that'd probably be fine. That seems acceptable. Yeah, that seems fine.
Then you want to put your raspberries in, and instead of mixing it in with raspberries,
I keep saying raspberries, but it's... I mean, even in the title it says blackberry. I could understand he misspeaks once, but it's a continuous raspberries.
the way to do this is to just bed raspberries in,
Raspberries.
so you don't bruise them, and so you get full flavour of raspberries.
Raspberries.
Just bed them in like that.
Clearly not raspberries.
I used about half a bottle of beer on this, so it should taste okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Why is it in a fucking pot, though? Can we acknowledge this? I mean, I'm sure somebody has already pointed this out. Why is it in, like, the pot that you would use to boil, like, a spaghetti gravy? You know? Or, like, your noodles or whatever. Why is this in, like, what the fuck? I'm sure you could put this in the oven. I'm sure it could be used for baking a cake, but it's gonna be real hard to get a fucking piece of the cake out of there. Jesus Christ. And also... Oh, okay. You know... I don't know, there's just something about it. It's mesmerizing. It's mesmerizing. You know? It's a tale of corruption, truly. It's a shame. It's really... It's a tragedy unfolding.
Got raspberries bedded into your cake. You might want to sprinkle some sugar on, and this is best sugar to use.
What is spaghetti gravy? I asked the Italians. I asked Joey Pantoliano in fucking that one Sopranos episode. Just I don't know.
Because it's really sweet and it tastes a lot better than with ordinary sugar. And you just put that in oven on gas mark 4 for about an hour.
Uh-huh. Oh, is he gonna show it to... He does!
Oh, an hour and a half later in oven and it's...
Well, it doesn't look awful. I mean, I guess. It's hard to tell with the quality of the camera. It looks like sort of like a cake. There's way too many fucking berries. There's like a structural... Like, there's like no cake in this top part because it's just all berries. It's just a roof of berries. Well, maybe that's okay. I'm sure that would taste fine. The beer part, I don't know. I'm surprised it wound up looking okay at the end, but you know, he actually showed us what it looked like for once.
Turned out okay. This one should taste really nice with beer and blackberries in. So thanks for watching, and we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Well, thank you everybody for watching some Paul with me. We're gonna leave it at that. On the subject of him drowning his cake in beer. Well, I gotta go get some beer. We're doing a podcast thing where we're drinking, and I'm gonna be drinking. So I gotta go out. I gotta get some food and stuff too. So that's fine. I got some super chats here. Next stream, by the way, is gonna be more spooky stuff. So stay tuned for that. You know, we'll probably do some. I want to do more ARGs. I think that would be good. More like ARG. Well, ARG. VHS analog horror shit. I want to see Linkara's one for one. I really want to see that. But there's also like there's some other good ones that people have mentioned, which apparently Linkara's isn't actually that bad, but there's some good ones people have mentioned that I actually want to see what is considered good analog horror, and maybe I'll have some compliments for it. I've had some compliments. I'm not really big into the whole genre necessarily, but you know, I'm interested in it, so it's an interesting thing to look at, and bitch about. And chat goes, "You just don't understand," and I'm like, well, maybe I don't, but maybe you're stupid. Maybe both are true. I don't know. Let me see here. $5 from my lady class. If you look at spooky stuff again, maybe you could look into Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. I've watched both seasons and I like them, especially the second season. Well, you know, that is a very popular one. I think I've looked at it a little bit. I don't recall being that interested in it. I remember being like, what is this? And then I learned what it was, and then I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. I don't think I need that. But you know, maybe it's fine. I could maybe watch that. Yeah, I've heard it's good. $2 from my lady class. Yandere Dev also had the content license ID or consent license. Yes. Yeah, that was the other one, like a few years ago, where I was like, didn't we already know he was a weird creep? It's like, yeah, a few years ago that he had that idea. So it's kind of funny now that it's like a big deal. Like, I think we all kind of, I don't know, we were just okay with him up to this point, but now we're drawing the line. Oh, all right, I guess, you know. I don't know. Yandere Dev has been kind of a piece of shit for like a long time. I mean, for a number of reasons. Yeah, I don't know. The whole situation. I still think though that it's at least the one thing he's ever given us that's worthwhile is that clip of him going, "Stick 'em up! This is a robbery! I need all your jewels, your valuables! You're being robbed! Stick 'em up!" I don't know. I just think that that's a really good video. It's great. I genuinely like that video. I wish that you know. I wish that he was. Well, it's funny because he scammed a bunch of people. It's funny because he scammed a bunch of people with that Kickstarter, you know, which never fucking went anywhere. So when you play that and it's like him saying that this is a robbery, it's there's always that extra layer. But I wish he'd just been a funny little meme man and made his stupid game instead of being like a weird piece of shit, allegedly. 505 from Silly Palm. Deadwing, thank you for ringing up tripe and tardation I happily know nothing about. In the end, I truly am happy to simp for Tonkatsu Sinclair. Well, I don't know who that is. Is that a real person or is that like an anime? It sounds like an anime. Well, yeah, I'm always happy to bring the trash that, you know, I mean, some people knew about the Sniper Wolf thing, but we still got like an hour and a half of me babbling about that. And people do know about like Chris Chan or whatever. I like a good mix of trash that people know and don't.
You know, but I am very fond of the stuff that people don't. There was a comment that I saw when I posted the Chris Chan video. It was somebody going like, "This is why I'm still subscribed," which is like a little bit insulting. You know, it's like, I don't know. I almost left a comment that was like, "Why don't you go watch the Mario adult video? I promise there's other lolcows other than Chris Chan. Like, I promise that there's other good people that you can laugh at that are not just like Chris Chan and the same 2 or 3 people, you know, Pamper Chew or whatever, that people are waiting for updates on. Like, I don't know. I'm just a lot more interested generally in the people that are, you know, unknown, finding new people like Origami Kingdom or whatever, or Iron Wrath. You know, I'm a lot more interested in that. Than I am in, you know, beating a dead horse, so to speak. But sometimes there's a lot to be said about a dead horse. There's a lot of commentary to make about a dead horse. Sometimes it's a particularly smelly dead horse, you know. Sometimes it smells, but it's not even the way you think that the dead horse would smell. It's more like a dead otter kind of smell, you know. Like it's, you know, and there's a lot to talk about there. $5 from Sonic Lol Productions. I'm going to see a Led Zeppelin cover band. I bet even they have more original content than Sniper Wolf. Oh, nice. Well, you know, I hope that the Greta Van Fleet concert goes well. $2 from Get That Griff. As a guy who does ASL, Haley's taught me some signs. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's like accurate. I just thought it was kind of funny, like how much money and like how many days or months of like work went into motion capturing and perfectly animating the sign language girl. Like, I get it. There's people that have sign language. I get it, but like it just distracts me a little bit as a disabled person. I feel like if it was a hook guy and they kept drawing attention to it, I'd be like, okay, is he gonna turn into a superhero with a hook hand, or is this just like meant to fucking pat me on the back and tell me I'm okay or something? Like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. It just seems a little bit forced. And so the height of it was when she calls with the text-to-speech phone call, and I'm like, okay, come on now, just text him at that point. What the fuck? But it's you're swinging through New York, so he can't check his phone. So I don't know. Also, the other thing about the new Spider-Man, what is the fucking deal with them like recasting these video game characters? I think they might have based the original characters on, like, model people, you know, kind of like they did with, I don't know, like, some of the Resident Evil characters are based on, like, actors that, you know, have that face, basically. I think they might have done that, and maybe they didn't want to pay fucking the Mary Jane lady, so they got a different Mary Jane, but it's, like, it's just really strange. I mean, it was weird enough, because I liked the original Peter face. It was a fine face. I mean, I didn't think too much of it. It was fine. And then they replaced it with the, like, Tom Holland-looking one that's in the new game. And I just don't... It doesn't... They try to have these flashbacks where he's in high school, and he looks younger in the fucking present day. Because his fucking face looks like he's 12. And I don't know why they did that. And then Mary Jane, they also changed. And she's, you know, she still looks like Mary Jane, I guess. She's, you know, attractive red-haired lady, whatever. But she's not the same as she was in the last one. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's the same universe. Miles looks the same. He's got different hair. He's got exaggerated swagger hair. You know, but, also another thing. It's a PS5 game, so I guess, and it's like trying really hard to look realistic. So when I see people in Miles' school who look really, really unrealistic and stupid and have like PS3 faces, it's a lot more noticeable than it would be if the game wasn't otherwise so polished. Like when the beginning scenes are happening with Sandman and the sand is clearly just like a texture on the ground. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess they didn't want to do a whole Spider-Man 3 sand simulation fucking thing. But, like, you know, when it's a high-clarity PS5 game, you know, it's kind of like, hey, it's a little more noticeable. It's funny, because I never finished FF16. A lot of people are down on that game, but I was enjoying it. But I got distracted by New Vegas and then other stuff. Which probably says a lot about that game, that the brand new Final Fantasy. I got distracted by fucking Fallout New Vegas. Like, yeah, I'd rather go play another playthrough of that than the brand new Final Fantasy. I don't know. I guess that says a lot about it, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. But, you know, I didn't notice too much of, like, super obvious, like, things where I'm like, oh, the graphics are not so great there. Oh, that's, oh, stinky. Oh. You know, but then there's parts where Sandman flings you halfway across the city, and I'm like, oh, never mind, it's fine, that's very impressive. It's fine. But generally, I would say the game is probably a lot... It seems less impressive for a PS5 game to me than the first one was for a PS4 game. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe other people would feel different. But the other game felt like a bigger deal for a PS4 game. This is like, yeah, it's a pretty good looking PS5 game, I guess. You know, it's fine. It's, you know, it looks like a PS5 game. It doesn't look like anything super special. Spider-Man PS4 looked really, really special for the PS4. $5 from Dr. Grubius. There's this YouTube video with, instead of subtitles, has a fat chick doing ASL. I don't, the fact people need it, but for a YouTube ad, oh, it's like for an ad, instead of subtitles. I mean, what if you're just at a fucking busy restaurant and you want to hear you want to understand what's being said? You gotta like, whoa, shut up, everybody, shut up! Quiet down, restaurant! Oh, they're trying to sell me weight loss pills. Like, yeah, okay. 50MX from Autistic Psycho. Have you seen Brandon the Brony Pony meets Equestria? If not, it's a really fun rabbit hole to get into. Oh, I did. Oh my, yes, I saw the Persona-related videos that he made. Very special, very special. $5. And I watched some of those, and how he had multiple series that were all basically the same isekai thing, but, like, some of them involved friends who, like, no longer communicate with him for one reason or another, and, yeah, it's a whole thing. $5 from Milady Class. Also, the other Yansim-inspired games have their own issues and bad people behind them. Like Dr. Apis and Love Letter, for example. Lovesick, too. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about any of these things. I just know, for one thing, that the concept of a fucking Hitman Persona game makes no goddamn sense. That's what the fucking Yandere Simulator is supposed to be. It's a cross between Hitman and Persona, and it just doesn't... I just don't know. I just don't know. I could see somebody making a game that would be that kind of game. You know, I could see that existing on like the PlayStation or the Dreamcast even. Like, you're a girl and you're trying to sabotage other boys or something. Or the other girls trying to go after your boy. That, whatever. I could see that being a concept for a game, maybe. But like at this point, like, I don't know. The one thing too is the only reason Yandere Dev even got to the point that he got to in popularity is because fucking people like PewDiePie and Markiplier and all these people played that shit back in like 2014, and it gave the thing a good deal of notoriety. It got eyes on it, and now I don't know, nobody's really fucking out here waiting for Yandere Simulator. Like, it's comical the amount of time he has spent doing fuck all nothing with this thing. And I don't know, like, is he trying? Is he coding stuff at all? And just, it's taking a long time, and he sucks, and he's, like, bug fixing, and it's all broken, or something, or maybe he's just basically given up. I mean, because it really, at a certain point, it starts to feel like he just took the money and ran. You know, I mean, allegedly he's all around, but that's what it's, you know, that's what people, that's what people think. That's what people have, you know, said. $5 from Milady Class. Did you hear about the Spider-Verse short film, The Spider Within, leaking? Someone posted a leak of it to a Spider-Verse server I'm on. No, I haven't heard anything about that or what that is. Really skeptical. I mean, if it's made by the same people, then great. If it's one of those things where Sony tries to shove some new thing in, you know, unrelated to that, and they're like, well, what about this character? I don't know. But I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know what it is. But that's cool. 574 from Exile Postman. How many hundreds of people died just because Batman let Joker live? Oh, exactly. I mean, every time, because of his fucking morals or whatever. I want to see a story that more closely focuses on that. There's stories that have dealt with that. I can't name any off the top of my head, but I know I've seen that kind of discussed, certainly, and, like, the Joker will bring it up. But I want, like, a whole story where Batman, or a character like Batman, you know, has to wrestle with that as a concept. Like, I might have to just kill people for the greater good, because I have morals that I want to stand by, but this guy will just kill a bunch of people if I don't. And it's like the trolley problem or whatever, but it's like, you know, I don't know, man. You fucking get over it. I'm sorry. You'll deal with it. You have lots of money. You dealt with your parents dying by becoming a weird superhero. You'll deal with this by, like, I don't know, curing cancer or something. Whatever. $20 from Piles. No message, but thank you very much. $2 from Milady Class. Trash suggestion. Jizz Sensei. Well, when you put it like that, is that on YouTube? Jizz Sensei. Jizz Sensei re-uploads. Oh, it's one of these. It's like top 10 Sigma males. Okay. Well, okay. This is strange. I'll take a look at it. It appears to be a number of different things at first glance, but yeah. Let me see here. $5 from Milady Class. Another trash suggestion. Mr. Video Clown / Mr. Video Drome. Oh. Mr. Video Clown, you say? His name is Mr. Clowns do what they want. He has one video from 15 hours ago that looks kind of weird, and he's in a bra, and it's in VHS format. He's got shorts, a whole bunch of shorts. Grimace is involved, and there's one called One Big Pile of Meat, which is exactly what it sounds like it is. It's a pile of meat in a frying pan, sizzling away. It's kind of a giant lump of it in no discernible shape. There's a little, like, nippular region. There's a Barbie in a toilet. It says subscribe for everlasting luck. #Skibbity. #Skibbity toilet. So, you know, what we really need in our lives is Skibbity Grimace. I think that would make everybody better. Yeah, Mr. Video Clown. We can look at this. Mr. Video Clown, aka Mr. Video Drome. Oh my god, spell the word. Mr. Video Drome. No, we got YMS watch-alongs of the movie Videodrome. David Cronenberg Videodrome. Yeah. Is it all one word? Mr. Videodrome. It's certainly not all one word. Is it just a channel? Let me sort by channels. Videodrome Cinemaniac. The shorter future of gay cinema. Well, if this is not what you're looking at, I don't know, this might also be something. There's like Legos, it's 12 seconds. I don't know, I don't think this is it. Oh, I have the other one saved anyway. $5 from Slug Boys. Perry is a failed comedian who was pranked by various comedians in a film. He was also in Smiling Friends, and now he's a cow. Pretty interesting dude. I remember now, yes, he was... They made a movie just to, like, shit on this guy or something, yeah. I've heard something about that. Because again, I did look at this guy like 2 years ago or something, 3 years ago, however long ago it was. So yeah, I don't know anything about that whole situation with Perry. He could be a weirdo. He could, I mean, he seems like a weirdo. He definitely seems like he needs help or something. But he's yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That video just seemed kind of uncomfortable. The guy who was like, listen, psychopath. Like, there was this sense of like, oh, you feel like you're superior in some way. Like, you're better. You calling him a psychopath, even though you're also here, like, doing this thing. I don't know. It was just a little bit awkward. $5 from Milady Class. Would you ever look into Instagram weirdos? One I have is Marvel Miles Morales. That was the name, IRC. Well, I mean, maybe. That would be kind of a hard one to find. I mean, no, actually, probably not, because the problem with Instagram is you need to sign into fucking Facebook. I don't want to do Facebook.
You know, if there's like a really good weirdo that's like on Facebook somewhere, or like somebody really funny and crazy who's exclusive to that, maybe. But I'd rather just, I don't know, if people see stuff on Instagram, they can fucking show me or something. I can maybe talk about it. I don't know. I don't like I don't want to have to use fucking Facebook and stuff, man. I don't know. I'm against anytime because that's always an annoying thing. It's like, oh, there's more info about this guy. Go to his Facebook. Oh god. Well, no. You know, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like I'm too lazy to make a fucking account. I don't know. I guess there's probably people on Instagram that are weirdos. I'm sure there's definitely people on Instagram that are weirdos, but you know, I wouldn't know necessarily where to find them. If you got like, you know, maybe a Google Doc format of like some screen caps of Instagram people, that could be a fun thing to look at sometime. But in terms of me like I wouldn't even know how to find people on Instagram. I don't know how. I think the crazies generally find you on Instagram. If I had to guess. You get like weird people following you or leaving comments in your shit. I don't know though. I've tried Instagram once or twice, and it was always just like, I don't know. I always found it strange. $5 from Big Ron, 1995. Suggestion: Girls I Would Love to Make My Wife Part 2 by Critical Guy to Realization Man 09. Read the description. Part 1 is weird too. Girls. Well, okay. It's Critical Guy. The account is actually called From Critical Guy to Realization Man 09 is the name of it. I thought that was like I thought that was just like him responding to another person. Okay, well, look at this, everybody. This feels like this could potentially be a good channel. This feels like this could be potentially a very good channel. He hasn't posted in 4 years. Hopefully he's dead. Yeah, look at this. From Critical Guy to Realization. I mean, the whole channel. I'll look up the word wife. Well, there's rant on Tiger Woods and his gold digger wife, but then there's, 9 years ago, 23 views. Girls I Would Love to Make My Wife Part 2. It doesn't, I think that's Miley Cyrus. Oh, I don't know. Oh, the description. Long story short, people, this second part of the video might be a little controversial because the third girl I mentioned as an example of marriage is under 18. Please don't judge me too harshly. Lates and bye. Lates and bye. Well, all right. We'll save this fella. This whole fella looks like a real user. We'll save him. Thank you for the suggestion. $2 from My Lady Class. Did you ever hear about the Vince Vintage situation? No, I don't. That name sounds familiar. I don't know. $5 from Hammer Fist Taco. Perry Caravillo was a dude that Jimmy Kimmel found, and Jimmy and his friends made a whole movie making fun of him. Oh, yeah, no, that's good. Because Jimmy Kimmel's so fucking great. Yeah, that is an interesting individual. That's somebody I should look at again then. More of him, because that's a real story right there. That's like somebody you make a documentary about. Like, this guy's life was set onto a path of destruction by a bunch of fucking, like, celebrity comedians and shit. Apparently. You know? Rather than it being like Blue Spike type people or something like that. It seems to have started from people like that, yeah. Just like professionals, so-called, who, you know, made this whole film about him, and maybe they didn't know at the time how he would, like, react to it. I guess he's clearly, like, not well. Yeah, that's interesting. $2 from Queen Nidus. Dank Haggis. That's what it looked like, yeah. It's just dank, the stringy beef
blend haggis. Yeah. Tapeworm with 2 pounds. Me and my brethren are pleased. Oh, the tapeworms are rising up. Hell yeah. $20 from Rylan Crowder. That one, thanks for streaming on my birthday, Claw. You're welcome. Happy birthday. There was another birthday person in chat. I think it was the Wonderful Wizard of Games. I forgot to say happy birthday earlier. I don't know if you're still here, but there's a belated one. There you go. I think it was him. That might have been yesterday. Never mind. If it's not your birthday, then fuck you, actually. But, you're welcome. 2, after watching the stream with the silverback gorilla-looking Mario adult with minors on his waifu list, it made me wonder who could be in your hot chick heaven. Oh, man. Well, I don't know. We're not getting into that now, but that could be maybe a fun exercise sometime. I know Mike used to do, like, hot or not streams, you know, that kind of thing. Something like that could be a real cajole. Armed Darkly. Thank you, by the way, Rylan, and happy birthday. Thank you for giving me money on your birthday. Appreciate it. That's it should be the other way around probably, but $2 from Armed Darkly. VHS 97 looks like a banger. Is that the new movie in that series? I don't know about that series. I think people like the first one or something. I don't know. I'm glad the new one looks cool. Hey, there you go. Sounds great. $5 from Alan Sampson. I'm out here making unwise financial decisions, enjoying the pod Patreon. Also, Angel Hair for a take on shitty analog horror. Well, thank you. Welcome to the podcast Patreon. I hope you find that it gives you things you enjoy. There's early episodes and stuff. If you want to check out Loud Equals Funny, chat members, you aren't aware of my podcast with Bane and Tristan. It's more Bane's podcast with me and Tristan, but I'm on there, and I certainly flap my fucking gums a lot. We're going to be doing a drump stream. That's right, drumpf. It's going to be all about... No, we're going to be doing a drunk podcast today for the episode 21. So, you know, we're going to be bringing our Schlitz or whatever. Let me see here. Angel Hair. Angel Hair. Oh god. This is so fucking frustrating. Guys, look, it's so scary. An innocent edutainment horror game that teaches life lessons. God, ugh. I'm sure it'll be real scary. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Yeah, it even says shitty analog horror. I'm sure it's gonna be fucking great. Yeah. There's like theory videos. Fuck off. Yeah, we're definitely doing another like VHS analog horror thing. 20 MX from Autistic Psycho. Where can I see your reaction to it? I don't know what you're referring to at this point. I'm sorry, that was 11 minutes ago. I think we were talking about Spider-Man. I haven't been streaming it, if that's what you mean. $2 from Milady Class. Jizz Sensei made Sangi type videos. Oh, I'll check it out. $5 from Milady Class. Marvel Miles Morales has the advanced meme, so there's that. I have no idea what that even means. $5 from Milady Class. Another possible Sangi channel. Sonich, Russian channel that has some very weird thumbnails. Sonich. That is what the Russian Sonic would be called. So it's like oh, well, I see. I see what you're, Oh, wow, one of them just has a girl with cum on her face. How about that? How about that? Yeah. Well, you into this stuff, chat members? You got a channel for it. Sonich. You also have multiple websites that can probably show more than YouTube can, so I don't know what this is even for, but... Sonich over here. There's the girl with the cum on her face on the bottom row there. Very cool. Very cool. Very legal. You know, I don't know. I don't think I can show that, but thank you. Thank you for the suggestion. Alan Sampson says it's not supposed to be scary. I thought it was analog horror. Yeah, it's Sniper Wolf's birthday too, yeah. I thought it was fucking analog horror. Oh, Brandon the Brony Pony. I don't know if I ever made a video about that. I should at some point. That was a good stream. I have such a backlog of stuff that I need to make. And yet when a Chris Chan video drops, I'm able to put out a fucking video edited fully in a day. No problem. Less than a day. Like a few hours, it's done. Boom, out. But, you know, video stream from like 3 months ago, I don't know. I'll get to it. It's on the list. I gotta finish Baldur's Gate 3, man. But anyways, that'll do it for the stream. Thank you. I gotta go out. I gotta buy booze. Gotta be fresh. Gotta go downstairs. Gotta have my bowl. Gotta have cereal. And I'm gonna be doing a drunk podcast with the boys. Check out Loud Equals Funny if you haven't yet. We just if you want more Sniper Wolf stuff, Tristan goes over the whole timeline in more detail. In the last episode, look for the thumbnail. That's Doom. And it's Doom from the perspective of Sniper Wolf breaking into Jack's house.wad. So check that out. And then other episodes are on there. We talked about Gamergate a while ago. You know, there's some good stuff there. We're going to be doing a new one, and check out the Patreon for that if you would like to see this new episode that we're recording today drunk. See that maybe a little bit early, you know. There's also going to be the hyperfixation episodes, which I think are going to start for like 2 weeks early on the Patreon, and then they're going to go, or however long, or, you know, a little while early, and then they go public eventually, like a month later or something. So yeah, definitely check that out. There's merch and stuff now too. There's like shirts and things. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that. Next stream will be spooky. We'll probably do ARG bullshit, analog horror, I don't know, maybe other stuff. I wanted to do spooky fanfic, not creepypasta specifically, but spooky fanfic. Maybe fanfic of creepypasta, but spooky fanfic. That's what I'm after. So I want to do that. Maybe we'll do that with analog horror. I don't know. See how long we go. We'll see. But we've got some plans. So that'll be next stream. For now, take it easy, folks. Penis and goodbye. Good day. Take it easy now. Good evening. Bye. Sayonara. See you later. Take care.